Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream. Today is the 23rd of January 2021, 34 minutes past 2 in the afternoon in the United Kingdom, and we are now back in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The first ever time I've done a public stream in the continent of Africa. Really excited to do this sector. I was looking at the VATSIM events yesterday, and there were a whole host of different events going on. I thought, you know what, it's been some time since we've done a community sector online. So I thought what we'll do to satisfy all parties, because not everyone likes the big fun online fun flights, we're going to do some serious IR flying as well. So we're going to be kicking off the first sector flying from here in Nairobi in Kenya, where there's currently a VATSIM event going from here to Johannesburg and vice versa, and we're going to go fly for about an hour till we get to Kilimanjaro International Airport, and then we'll complete that flight on VATSIM. I'll then log back in on the public servers, and then as many of you so wish can join me on doing a little flight around Mt Kilimanjaro and see what we could do and get up to some fun there. Today we're going to be flying the Carenado. It's the Carenado PA44 Seminole. Very popular at the moment. I think it's the only kind of pay-wear multi-engine twin aircraft that's available. I did actually purchase it about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but it was quite bugged. There were quite a few issues at the moment. Oh my goodness me, what have I done here? There were quite a few issues with it. They've recently updated it. They seem to have fixed many of the issues. There are some little teething things here and there, but otherwise it's a very nice little add-on. Now, I did my instrument rating 10 years ago on a PA44 Seneca, which is turbocharged. This is naturally aspirated, but all the figures and the power settings now do seem to match up, whereas previously they didn't. And I've been doing a little bit of studying yesterday, trying to remember what I could from my lack of current technical knowledge flying a twin-engine, multi-engine piston aircraft. I mean, the last time I flew a multi-engine piston like this was over 10 years ago. So it's been very much good fun to go through all my old notes, which I kept from when I did my instrument rating over 10 years ago, and I'll hopefully justify some of that knowledge and pass it over to you today. We'll have to see here. Did you train at Hiref, David Joseph? No, I trained at Oxford Aviation Academy. Arizona for my CPL, and then my instrument rating was in Oxford. That was back in 2010. So yes, very excited. You can see we're in Golf Foxtrot Delta Tango Sierra, but we are actually online on VATSIM as a call sign of Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. This is our new, Kenyan tours airline. We've just started here in the capital, Nairobi. But yes, it's externally you can see the aircraft is absolutely gorgeous, as it always does look in these sims as well. And yeah, I'll try and point out some of the things which perhaps aren't working, but overall you could use it as a nice little IR trainer. We'll be flying IFR today using the GPS primarily because there's not many en route VORs, and then we'll be flying an ILS approach into Kilimanjaro International. Alright, who have we got here? Play Old Ben's here to help. Got a good few hours in the PA44. Very good. It's been over 10 years since I've flown that. Freddie Mitchell, did you do your type rating with a company or before you applied? My operator taught me my type rating. I didn't do it privately. Chris, are you flying IFR, VFR? IFR for the first sector for the community flight. We're just going to have some fun offline, well, online with you guys, but not on VATSIM, of course. Domino Mosina, that ortho looks strange. Yes, I don't think this has been the best looked after area with the satellite imagery. There's some parts where the colour's not quite matched, but overall it's not too bad. We're flying live weather at the moment for the first sector, 3 hours behind live time as well, just to make sure we have daylight for the entire sector. Right, let's jump on into the cockpit here. I've not done anything apart from load into the sim. I've got all my charts on standby as well. So the first thing you'll notice, it's a very high altitude airfield here. In fact, what is the elevation here in Kilimanjaro? That's where we're going to. It's 5,330 feet, so I can actually reset the QNH. We'll get the ATIS shortly as well, because we're going to be doing this all as properly as possible. We'll be using the default GPS a little bit here. The route should already be programmed in there, because I did file a flight plan via the Microsoft Flight Simulator format and copied a flight plan from SimBrief. I'm following a checklist a real PA44 checklist as well. There's plenty of guidance online actually, because this is one of the most common multi-engine trainers out there. So you just have to look online, and lots of the flight training schools have their checklists and guidance public. I'll be using pitch and power settings. You have all the cruise settings here as well, which are quite useful. So we'll be following that. Right, well, imagine we've done the walk around. The aircraft's in good condition. We've checked the technical log. No defects. For this sector, we're just going to make sure we have a full tank of fuel. So I'm just going to go here, fuel, and load that up fully. And we're going to have no passengers. Just going to imagine it's myself and Jim. So I'll leave myself and Jim up here just to make sure the weight's all within limits and stuff. So that's good. Fully loaded. I remember when I did my instrument rating and flying, whenever we did the flying in the Seneca, it was a requirement to have full tank of fuel for every single flight we did. Now you'll see here, this engine's naturally aspirated. It doesn't matter if your engines are stopped here, but the manifold pressure actually shows you your current atmospheric pressure outside the aircraft, so that's pretty cool when the engines are not running. Because we're at 5,000 feet, we might actually have to take off the mixture slightly leaned, but we'll have a rough idea of what to do there. Zag Chill 18, I always have a hard time landing that plane. Please show me how. Pressure's on. List of intensity, altitude at the moment 7,700 feet. Yeah, we definitely want to have the mixture lean to ensure that we have full power for departure. We're going to be cruising at flight level 120 today, so we might get a little bit lightheaded. Let's get anything started here. So, we'd be sat down, make sure the seat and harnesses are locked. Brakes are set. Yes, they are. Circuit breakers are all in, which I don't think any of these are modelled, but none are popped. It's looking good here. Verify landing gear lever is down. It is. Avionics off. They are for now. Cowl flaps, make sure they're fully open. Now, I've had a play with them. I'm not sure that the cowl flaps actually help assist cool the engine. The carb heats I don't think are modelled either, just the switches move, so hopefully they'll model that at a later date. Fuel selectors turn on. It's incredible how similar this is to the Seneca. I mean, it's the same aircraft essentially, except the engines aren't turbocharged in this version. Battery switch on. So what I'm going to do is, prior to the engine start, is get our clearance, get the ATIS as well. Then we'll turn the avionics off again for the engine start. So we'll get everything done at once. So let's pop the battery switch on. There we are. And alternators we can turn on as well. There we go. And we'll just turn on the avionics. Just get this out of the way. How did I do that? There we go. Yes, my radio tuning panel works in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is really cool. So we'll grab the ATIS now before we do anything. That is 126.2. Which I'll do on box 2. Should be working. I tested this sector yesterday online, and VATSIM was working and whatnot. So there's 1262. Make that active. And vPilot. How do I make sure I'm listening to box number 2 on this thing? Should be. I wonder if it's only on voice. Let me just try the primary radio.
0
there we go.
Wind 040
Perfect.
at 17. Visibility 99.99. 3,400 covered. Temperature 25.
It's warm.
2.12. QNH 1018. Runway 6 in use for landing and departing. Expect ILS approach runway 6. Trail 100. Advise on initial contact. You have information delta.
Information what? Do you want to say that one again?
Jomo Kenyatta Airport 8 is information delta.
Delta, I think.
1400 Zulu. Wind 040 at 17.
Cool, windy.
Visibility 99.99.
Perfect.
3,400 covered.
So we've got the ATIS now. So before we deplete the entire battery here, what I'm going to do is grab our clearance on the ground. Frequency is 1 to 1.6. We'll grab our clearance, and then we'll turn the avionics off. We'll request engine start as well. The frequency tuning is a bit annoying. It takes ages there. We're out 21.6. Why is that not giving me... There we are, 1216. So we'll grab our clearance on ground. I'm going to call them Nairobi International. I think, let's have a look here at the charts, what we're calling them here. Nairobi Apron Control. Let's go with that one. Nairobi Apron Control, hello, it's Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha on the General Aviation stand. Copied information Delta QNH of 1018, departure clearance to Kilimanjaro, please.
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, good day, I'll be done with you. Clear to depart to Kilimanjaro, flight level 120, off runway 06 on the Airport 1 Zulu departure. Climb initially 6,000, altitude 6,000, and departure frequency is 122.3, squawk 1776.
Clear to Kilimanjaro, expecting flight level 120, runway 06, on the Ivato 1 Zulu, stop altitude is 6,000 feet, and next airborne frequency 122.3, squawk 1776, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha.
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, the block correct report ready for startup.
Request engine start, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha.
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, engine start is approved. Put ready for taxi.
Engine start approved, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. So we've been cleared on our SID. Now what I'm going to do before I drain the battery here is just turn the radio off. I think that's to stop any issues when you have the engine start, but we'll leave the batteries on. Hopefully it won't go flat. And doing that, I need to remember now to set the squawk. Now, very low stop altitude here, because we're already at 5,300, so we need to level off literally 800 feet after departure, so that's something to bear in mind, 6,000 feet. Let's set this to runway heading, which is 053. And the course for our radial for our departure, we need 207. Oops. Perfect. So, what we'll do, we'll get the engine started, just so the battery doesn't die on us, and then we'll do our checks so we can request taxi whenever we're ready here. So, we'll carry on with the rest of the checklist. We'll brief everything, of course, as usual. So, starting engine, left engine first, magneto switches on. There we are. Just turn this music down slightly as well. There we are. So left mags are on. Mixture fully rich. Even though it probably shouldn't be at this altitude for the engine start. But propellers high RPM. Throttle half-inch open. That'll do for us. Primers required. Well, imagine the engine hasn't been started for a while, so 30, we'll give it 3 clicks.
20, 10.
1, 2, and 3. Thanks a lot, Tao, for your donation there. It's very kind. Hasn't come up on the thing yet, which is a shame. But there we are. Engine's primed, so we've got some fuel in the cylinders. Fuel pump on. Propeller area clear, so have a good look around us. There we are. There's no roaming animals or giraffes. I don't know what you find around here. And start. Let's give it a whirl, see if it starts first time. Yes, we're in business. There we go. So, 1000 RPM on the throttle. There we are. Make sure we have oil pressure, 25 psi within 30 seconds. So it's already above that. It's in the green already. Ammeter check. So these ammeters are, I don't like the left 0.1 ones. Basically, if the battery's charging, it'll show a positive charge, and when the battery's fully charged, it should be around just above 0. If it's completely at 0, it means it's not charging. I prefer the one where the needle's in the middle and it shows plus or minus positive or negative charge. So that is done. Fuel pump can come off, and repeat for engine number 2. So, again, high RPM, prime as required. Always used to do 3 clicks. Pump on, make sure the air is clear. Starter. Ooh, what have I forgot to do? I know, mags, look. Again! It's alright, it's not my instrument rating. Perfect. Right, that's engine number 2 started. Excellent. So we've got 1000 RPM, pressure's in the green, and ammeter is checked. It says there's a suction gauge, but I can't see a suction gauge. Now the suction would power the artificial horizon and the heading bug, but this is slave to the compass anyway. So I don't know if this is missing the suction gauge or this particular model didn't have it, but I can't see that. And then turn the fuel pump off. There we are. So there we are, 2 good engine starts. We'll turn the avionics on. There we go. Alex spotted, chill dude. Who are you telling to chill? Cold Childers, you turned on mags right, left on both sides. Notice they are split. Cold Childers, I've not flown an aircraft like this for 10 years. Bear with me. I'm doing my best. It's not a 7.3, buddy. Yes, they are split. You're right. So mag left, mag right, mag left, mag right. I understand. Maybe I should have just turned the ball on. Perfect. ATP. No, I didn't do my IR ATP. There we are. Perfect. Right, 2 good engine starts then. Next part's taxiing, but before we do all that, make sure we've got the QNH set, which is 1017, which is about there. Or 10180 he said. I mean, if I push B, it should set it in whatever it is in the sim anyway. So that's done. Let's do a little bit of a brief for you guys. So here we are on this sort of little GA apron. I'll turn my little aeroplane icon here. We're going to taxi out by Alpha, just a right turn to hold point runway 06. Interestingly, I wasn't so sure. There is a SID here. Now I'm not sure if you'd actually need to be flying this SID in a commercial jet aircraft, in a light multi-engine piston aircraft like this. But what we're going to do is fly straight ahead on the Avato 1 Zulu. It just simply says turn right, intercept the November Victor 13-1, which is just on the threshold of runway 24, and we're going to go outbound on the 207 for 56 miles, so it's quite a way away. So we'll tune up that nav aid 13-1, which is NavX. So I think this will be actually easy just to use the radio tuning panel. So 13.1. Yeah, easier to do this than use the radio tuning panel. We've got the DME, which is really nice. 13-1, 13-1. It's saying November Victor, so it's correctly identified. So we're going to just climb straight ahead to this VOR and just intercept outbound on the 207, essentially. We'll turn on the transponder. Our squawk was 1776. There we go. Hopefully that will register on VATSIM correctly. We're already in mode C. And next frequency airborne is going to be 122.3 for approach, but we've got tower to put on standby, which is 118.7. So slow. It seems to be setting it in 0.05 increments. 118.7. Perfect. So yeah, climbing straight ahead then. Oh, I know what else I forgot to do. Don't forget to turn on the recognition light before you start your engine as well. That'd be a bit of a no-no on your IR. So yeah, that's it. Courses we have set. The VOR's tuned. Nice and simple, really. Stop altitude is 6,000, very low. So just got to remember that on departure. And that's it. So before taxiing, check flight instruments, parking brake, and then we'll do a run up at the whole point there. Perfect. Let's have a look here. Set squawk, that one I remembered. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Snuffy Sniper and Romulo. Carl again, as in you can have engine power loss in a bad way if the mags are, say, lead found. Ah, sorry, Carl. I didn't know you. You're a multi-engine. Carl, don't judge my ability on the fact that I should perhaps know what I'm doing here, but I haven't flown a multi-engine piston aircraft for 10 years, so if you're a CFI or watching this, yes, keep your eyes closed. Remember, I fly 737 every day, not a multi-engine piston, so 10 years I've been flying this. Right, perfect. Right, let's request taxi. Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, request taxi.
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, taxi by Alpha to hold short runway 06.
Taxi hold point Alpha runway 06, and we'll need a short delay at the hold point for our power checks, and we'll call ready for departure.
No problem, I'll hand you over to tower and we'll give you clearance.
Thank you, sir. Perfect. So, let's go to idle here, and we'll release the parking brake, and let's go. I love all the little squeaky sounds you get at the sim. It's so cool.
Nairobi ground, good evening. Lufthansa 591 Heavy, Boeing 747 on
He's got a
gate
long flight.
7 with information Delta requesting IFR clearance to Frankfurt.
Goodbye, sir. Very cool that Nairobi has ATC. You don't see ATC on VATSIM in Africa that often. So I really wanted to take this opportunity to kind of utilise the fact that we're hosting an event and the fact that Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't require you to download loads of scenery. It's all there already. So I thought, wow, what a fantastic way to go and explore, Nairobi in Kenya and then going into Tanzania to see Mt Kilimanjaro.
Frequency will be 122.3.
Aaron, great to see you on stream, Captain. Good day to you. A Daily View Beers family. I really want to be a pilot. Ah, very good. Very good.
Lufthansa 591, clear destination Frankfurt, out of runway 06, Navex 1 Delta departure. Initial climb flight level 180, level change thereafter, squawk 1770, departure frequency 122.3.
Perfect. So yeah, this is just a default airport. Remember, there's no scenery available for Nairobi. I don't think that building's there, for example, in real life. It might be. But yeah, we've got a very strong headwind today. So we'll get to the whole point. Complete the power checks. We'll do a little before takeoff briefing as well. The kind of power settings I'm using for departure are based off the real aircraft. I've got some information online and stuff. But whilst we're taxiing here, we should be doing some kind of checks of turning right, left, making sure the heading bug's moving as expected, the turn coordinator, the slip ball, the brakes order checked straight away. So it all looks to be working well. It's actually, it's not a too badly modelled aircraft. The RPM seems to work. The governor, which alters the angle of the blade to make sure you have the same RPM when you change power, that seems to be modelled. I think the manifold pressure for the power settings are a bit off, but otherwise it's quite nice. Motraz, great registration, thank you. Right, anyway, here's the whole point for runway 06 at Alpha. I like the registration, yes. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to head over here just in case anyone else does pop online and then I'm not blocking the taxiway. I'm not sure if this tarmac's here anyway, it's just for the power checks. Very good. Oh, that's knackered the brakes. Our parking brake is set, and we'll leave it around 1,000 RPM whilst we're sat here. Perfect. So, engine run up then. So parking brake is set. Cowl flaps verify open, which they are for cooling. Fuel selector is on, which it is down here. They are both on. Mixture is fully rich. Prop high RPM, it's as high as it goes. And we're going to do the feather check initially, so we're going to set the power to 1500 RPM.
Lufthansa 591.
Sorry, I just lost you there. I had an internet issue.
So on a variable pitch blade like this, especially multi-engine, you want to make sure that you can feather the prop in events of an engine failure, which angles the blades with the airflow. So all you have to do is pull this back. It's very important you don't let it drop more than 500 RPM, otherwise it gets stuck. So you do that. There you go, you can see it's feathering. Straight back up, and then don't let it drop below 500. There we are.
Wilco, Lufthansa 591.
So it looks like the prop's feathering. Just going to turn the VATSIM down slightly here. So next, we'll increase the power to 2000 RPM. There we are, 2000 RPM is set. We're going to do the governor check. And again, what the governor does... I'm trying to remember, I looked a bit of it up here. I think the governor alters the angle of the blade to ensure you have the same RPM when you change power. Thanks a lot, Tristan, £2. A few months ago I asked for your advice on my first solo. 2 days ago I passed my PPL skills test. Love the streams, Captain. Oh, Tristan, congratulations to you. I like to think that some of my streams are beneficial, but not that they're for educational purposes, for entertainment. But thank you very much for your donation. Congratulations on passing your PPL skills test, buddy. Very exciting times. Cool, let's check the governor then. So I think what we do here, again, this is based off some guidance I found online. You reduce the RPM so it reads 1900 and make sure it stays there, and I think that checks the governor. Like I said, I've not basically done anything there. Oh, contact tower, you're handed off, was I? Ah, okay.
Ground Nairobi, correction, Malawi 235.
I'll change that shortly then. Let's check the governor, props exercise, magnetos check.
Malawi 1235.
So there's the RPM decreasing, maximum 175.
Climb initially 180, Squawk 17.
And 50 between the two. It's only dropped ever so slightly. And here comes the
Initial climb there again, sir?
So that's the mags done. Carburetor heat check. You should expect one at a time as well, but they're not modelled, so you'd expect a slight drop in RPM. So due to the carburetor, just the Venturi effect, the temperature drops and any moisture in there can freeze. Even if you're above freezing, so that's checked. Alternator check. So it's just, I mean, I think it's meant to be slightly above zero. I think zero, I mean, if I turn one of the alternators off, you can see the other one's picking up the load, so I think it is modelled, but I think zero means it's completely dead. It should be just slightly above. If it's charging the battery, and the battery's not fully charged, it'll be a little bit higher, but I think it's modelled and working, and importantly, the alternator light's not illuminated, so that's done. What else do I need to do? Annunciation panel check. Yeah, nothing's lit up. Reduce power. Oh no, hold on, I've skipped a whole bit here. Engine T's and P's are in the green. The oil temperature is boiling, but the pressure's at least good. And now we can reduce it to idle. To make sure that it doesn't drop below 800 RPM. Cut off. Yeah. So if it cuts off, obviously, yeah, you're not going anywhere. It's a bit lower, but we'll set that back to 1,000. Cool. We'll check the flight controls then.
50,
back,
40,
left, and
30,
right.
20,
forward rudder, right and left. Thank you very much, Spike, for the £5.
For butter landing on top of mountain.
Thank you very much, Spike. Yes, for the second community flight, we're going to try our best to somehow get up to 19,000 feet in this aircraft, even though it has a service ceiling of around 15,000. But we'll see what we can do. Perfect. So flight controls are done. Flaps, we're going to do a flaps up departure. Frictions are set for the throttles up and pitch. Radio's set, doors and windows locked, parking brake is off, and that's it. All we need to do is take off now, so we're all good to go. And I'll just mention to ground that I think we missed the handover. I'll back 1 Golf Alpha, sorry, I think I missed the handover now. Just confirm the tower frequency.
Yeah, okay, Alpha 1 Golf Alpha, that should be 118.7. Thank you for flying, Nairobi.
118.7, you're most welcome and have a great day, sir. Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. Superb, 1187. So that's now active. And the airborne frequency was 122.3, so I'll put that on standby. Yeah, it's taking ages to tune this by hand. There we are. Perfect. Lean for higher density, you're right, Ian. Yes, now, how much by? I have no idea, but I reckon if we go something like that, I'll ensure we have maximum power available. I mean, you'll see it on the climb out. We won't have much power because we're at 5,000 feet. Again, this is all just off-the-cuff stuff. always, you know, without having flown this point here, when I did my instrument rating, everything was at sea level, so I was very fortunate. So, there we are. Mixture's lead. You know, honestly, monitoring a 737 engine is so much easier to manage. Just one thrust lever. I love it. Right, let's get to the whole point and advise we're ready for departure. So parking brakes released. So do a little takeoff briefing then. Flaps are up for departure. We're going to set full power for takeoff. On the Seneca, you have to be very careful not to overload the turbos, so you have to be quite careful. But on this, it's full power. It's naturally aspirated. That gives around 2,700 RPM. We're going to rotate at, I think it was, oh dear, I nearly screwed that up. We're going to rotate at 75 knots, and then initially we're going to climb at the best rate, which is 88. Remember, we've got a very low stop altitude at 6,000 feet. Once we're at 6,000 feet, we'll reconfigure the aircraft to maintain cruise speed, or cruise climb 105 knots once we get further climb. And I think the Power setting was 24 inches and 2,500 RPM in the climb there, so we're all good there. Russell Glazley, tweak it via the EGT gauge. Yes, I will when I have climb power. So I'm just about remember the technique. He used to lean the mixture until the EGT peaked, and then when it dropped, all the engines started to run rough. You just enrich them slightly to be on the rich side of peak. That was the way I vaguely remember on doing it. So we'll do that on the departure. Unfortunately, there's no red needle to set there. Perfect. Let's see how we get on then. We'll contact tower. There's a little van ahead of us. Nairobi Tower, hello, it's Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, holding point Alpha runway 06, ready for departure.
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, Nairobi Tower, are you ready for departure?
Affirm, fully ready, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha.
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, wind 040, 17 knots, runway 06, clear for takeoff, report passing 7,000 feet.
Runway 06, clear for takeoff, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. We were cleared on the SID to stop at 6,000, just confirmed unrestricted climb to cruise level.
Unrestricted climb to flight level 120, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha.
Okay, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, climb flight level 120, we'll call passing 7,000. Excellent, that's what we'd like to hear. Right, we'll turn the music off for this departure. This is going to be interesting. We'll turn on the landing lights, probes can come on, just not so much the fact I need it, it's because Microsoft Flight Simulator can be a bit funny with icing and whatnot. Right, release parking brake, let's go! Toga's in chat. Oh, I just set the parking brake, unbelievable. What's very funny as well, we have a nice little temperature gauge here, but if you turn the battery off, the gauge reads 0. It's quite funny. Got to put that out earlier. Oh look, they've sent the fire trucks out. Brilliant. Very funny, whoever that was. I'll reset my view. What a lineup! Right, let's go full power. There we are. Takeoff thrust sets. Indications normal. There's 70 knots and 75 knots, rotate. Our airborne, wait for 88. There's 88 knots, which is our best rate of climb to engines. Gears up and trim. And you can tell by the density altitude the performance is already a little bit lacking. Look. And he wants us to call passing 7,000. So we're going to initially climb straight ahead towards the November Victor VOR. Which obviously the HSI is tuned for our departure. Just going to pitch up to maintain 88 knots. Just make sure we're trimmed out. There we are. So almost 1,000 feet AGL. We can decrease the RPM. Well, no, sorry, set the power to 24 inches, which it is because we're already full power, the density altitude. I'm going to reduce the RPM now to 2,500. I've got a little bit of a split in my needles, and I'm going to now lower the nose to climb at 105 knots. For some reason, I've got them set to my joystick, a button, but it never does it equally. It's a bit of a pain. There we are. That's 2,500-ish, and there's 105 knots, which is our kind of cruise climb speed. Keeps everything cool and nice. There's November Victor, and we'll call passing 7,000 now. Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha passing 7,000 feet, and on a right turn now on the Vato 1 Zulu.
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, contact approach on 122.3. Thanks for flying Nairobi. Bye bye.
Contact approach on 122.3, and we'll see you again soon. Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. Bye bye. 80 here's lovely. Right, 105 knots. I'll lean that mixture again further here, but I've a little bit late here with the turn. Gone straight over the VOR. It's a bit of an awkward SID, so we're just going to continue that turn here. Contact departures as well. So I'm going to make a right turn around 240 just to intercept that radial. Can't remember what it was now, 207. Speed's good. And we'll check in. We'll set standard now, because I think the transition altitude was 7,000 feet. Oh, it's 9,000 feet. So I have to wait a little bit longer. There we go. Lovely. Nairobi approach, very good evening, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha on the Ivato 1 Zulu, passing 8,300 for flight level 120.
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, Nairobi radar, good evening, Jambo. Hakuna Matata in Kenya. Radar contact on departure at 8,500 feet under radar control. You can continue climb flight level 120, direct Ivato.
Climb flight level 120, direct to Ivato, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. Amazing! And he spoke...
Correct.
So his height he gave was above AGL as opposed to above mean sea level. But essentially I'm using the VOR now. I'm just going to maintain this heading to re-intercept the radial. I was a little bit late turning there. And we best do the after takeoff checklist as well. Gears up, flaps are up. Throttles 25 inches. So we're losing power because of the density altitude, but we should be maintaining 25 inches. This was the beauty of the turbocharged Seneca. You could just increase power because the turbos would artificially increase the pressure in the manifold, in the piston. So obviously this is naturally aspirated. As we climb, the power decreases, so there's not much I can do with that, which is why we're only climbing at around 800 feet per minute until I lean the mixture further to improve the fuel-air mixture. Otherwise, engine temperatures monitor. They're very hot, the oil, and the cylinders, what's the cylinder head temperature? They're okay, so I'll leave them open for now whilst we're climbing. And that's it. After takeoff checklist is all done. Radial's looking good, so still hand fly for a short while. Having a look outside. And there is Nairobi. So cool. Flight time's around an hour 20. And we'll have a look at some maps when we're going there. We're now established on the 207 outbound, so I'll make a slight left turn here. Jambo means hello in Swahili. Very good. Yeah, apologies for my lack of, Kenyan culture. Really, it's lacking. I should have perhaps looked that up beforehand, but there you go. Learned something new. Very, very cool. It's Hakuna Matata, is it? Right, there's 100. Let's turn the lights off. So I've noticed one thing in the aircraft. If you alter the electrical load, the ammeters don't move. Again, I think that's to do with the left-sided ammeter. It's one we never used to have in the Seneca. I swear we didn't have a middle needle. We had one that was either plus or minus. So landing lights will turn off. That's all good. We might use the autopilot later. Otherwise, we'll just hand fly for a short while. All right, let's see. You can see. So every nice rule of thumb I remember. I was looking at my notes yesterday. For every 1,000 feet you climb, you lose about an inch of manifold pressure. So obviously, we need to further lean these engines out. So I'm just leaning the engine, but you can see the EGT gauges are not even moving. Let's go fully rich. So you can see, look, I'm losing power, but the EGT gauges are not even moving. Are they? Is that moving? I feel like I'm going to cut the engines off any second now, though. Yeah, I don't think that's modelled accurately. It's been such a long time, but I remember that it was quite instantaneous in the real aircraft. You reduce the mixture, and the EGT would rise quite quickly. 50, I don't think that's
40,
modelled
30,
entirely
20,
correctly.
10.
Someone who flies aircraft frequently will know. Someone tell me. I don't think that's working.
Hey, I've been watching for a while and my dream is to be a pilot. What's it like and do you? Recommend it.
Thank you very much, Apollo Slams, for your $5. That's a very kind donation to ask. Yes, I'd 100% recommend becoming a pilot. Someone was mentioning the other day, don't you find it quite monotonous on the longer flights and stuff? Yes, I suppose a little bit. But right now, I mean, usually in a year I'll be flying 800 plus hours in the 737. Last year I flew about 250 due to the pandemic. I've not flown once this year, so I'm really desperate to get back to work. In fact, I'm really looking forward to flying again soon. Hold on, I just need to set this to 1013. So yeah, if you'd like to do it, there's loads of good guidance online on what to do here. I use flight simulation throughout my entire flight training, especially the IR element, because I used the Carenado Seneca in FSX. It was actually quite a good little basic instrument trainer. But yeah, I took a little bit of a hiatus from simming when I completed my type rating until I became an instructor at SFI, and then when I became an SFI, I started the channel again.
5 Yankee Sierra Papa Alpha, Nairobi.
So we are approaching flight level 120 then.
Sierra Papa Alpha.
Yeah, plane on Ben, that's definitely not right. Yes. Yeah, remember to set standard at least.
Thank you very much for flying out of
so
Nairobi today, and have a wonderful day.
I swear when I did that yesterday, when the EGT was increasing. Right, there's flight level 120. I'm going to leave it at full power. Initially, see what speed we can get here. So this is our estimated time en route for the entire sector, hour and 9 minutes. Have some nice external views so we can enjoy the view outside. One thing that Carenado has got right is the sounds. The sounds of this thing is really nice. Sounds really authentic. So this, the HSI is at the moment slave to Nav1, but they do have a GPS,
50,
but it's not
40,
working.
30,
Someone
20,
tweeted about it, and I noticed it yesterday
10.
on testing. So if you slave it to the GPS, it doesn't move, which is a shame. It should give you your track based off your magenta line, or your variation or distance from the magenta line. But it's not working, so I'm going to have to leave it in VLOC, unfortunately. But I think if I switch to GPS and then use nav mode on the autopilot, it will then follow the GPS track at least. Slowly accelerating. Thanks a lot, Sebastian GR, for the $2. As a pilot, what is the children and wife situation? Thank you very much. Well, the inverted brackets wife is around here somewhere. She'll probably come in now after you said that, but not yet married. And we don't have children yet. But I have plenty of people, and there are plenty of professional pilots who are manage their home lives and family lives just accordingly. I'm very lucky at my operator that we have very few overnights as it is. We always generally end up at our home base. Sometimes we're sent out of base to other airports, but not occasionally. But when I became a captain 2 years ago, I was initially based away from home. And yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, obviously, but so many people have to spend time away from home with various reasons and occupations, so we do fine. But that's it. Thank you very much for your donation, though. It's very kind. So lovely smooth conditions. It's all trimmed out, maintaining around 120 knots. Actually, do we have any information for flight level 120 here? I wonder. Flight level 120. So I only have 99 horsepower available. So it says 18 inches at 2,300 RPM. So maybe I should bring that RPM back a little bit as well. There we are. So better cut of the air. And yeah, 20 inches. So I think that is perhaps as much power as I can get out the engine. 19 inches. This is full power, remember. I mean, this has a service ceiling altitude, I think, of 15,000, so it'll be quite interesting to be able to get to Kilimanjaro later. The challenge is to try and land on top. It has an altitude, I think the peak's at 19,000, but if I put perhaps no load on here, and about 30% fuel, maybe I could squeeze an extra couple of thousand feet out of it. We'll be all good here. What do you have to set for rudder trim? Now, where was the rudder trim? Here, there it is. Where was it in the Senegal? I thought it was around there. Yeah, you just basically, you can see it's modelled. You just balance it out so the turn coordinate is in the middle if you have an engine failure as well. I can't remember if you can completely balance it out, but that's how you'd use it. Very cool. Schiffen, has Carenado ever modelled correct systems? Well, I don't know much about the developer. I used their Seneca 10 years ago, but I wasn't really so worried about engine management. It was used just to use the HSI, the RMI, and the ADF to practice some tracking, and I always use the autopilot. But yeah, I mean, the carb heat with it, no, it's not working. I'm just going to get the autopilot in here. Let's put this to GPS, but that should now react to the, you know, we're slightly right of the magenta line, so this should show fly left with GPS, but I guess that's not modelled. Let's try this little autopilot. So I think I have to turn that on. Altitude. If I push nav, I think it'll intercept the magenta line in GPS. It's taking a left turn, which makes sense. So let's see what happens. Descending slightly. Let's just change that to vertical speed plus 100. And we'll have a little play with the mixture again, see if we can do get everything balanced down. I'm only managing around 120 knots. The Where's that? There was a multi-engine flying instructor here. He'll definitely be able to tell me. Yeah, that looks like it's following. Well, if it's not following the GPS track, it's following the radial. Just so I remember, I've got vertical speed plus 100 here set on the autopilot, so I need to change that, but it's barely able to climb at the moment. No, don't have quite full power. Very nice. There we go, now let's push out again. The Senecas that I learned to fly didn't have an autopilot, it's far too fancy.
Nairobi approach, good evening sir, Lufthansa 592, climbing to 8,800 feet, flight level 100.
It's so sparse out here. Oh, it's just amazing that you got the world there. Does the Microsoft Flight Simulator generate random animals and stuff? I want to go see some animals.
Nairobi approach, good evening, Lufthansa
Use the
591
white
Heavy,
section
flight
at
level
the top of the
100.
airspeed indicator to find your true airspeed. Oh yes, I remember. You set your temperature, couldn't you? Did you set your actual outside air temperature? Pressure, altitude.
Nairobi approach, good evening, Lufthansa 591 Heavy, flight
I
level
guess that's
100.
ISA deviation. Well, if it's ISA, our true airspeed is around 140. But ground speed for navigation, 156. About an hour to go, and we'll do a full ILS approach here. Lovely day here in the sim. Oh, here's a little mirror to check the nose gears down. I don't think that's showing the correct reflection. I just realised that works. That's so cool. Nice little touches.
Nairobi approach, good evening, Lufthansa 591 Heavy, flight level 100.
Oh, looks like they've lost a Nairobi controller. Nairobi approach. Nicola 16789 mirror is a nice detail. I always use it. Yeah, I remember seeing that in the Seneca. Whether that's actually modelled to show, I mean, I'm seeing a blue reflection, so it makes me think it's perhaps not correct. But we'll check it. We'll try and remember to check it when we blow the gear. Well, the autopilot's doing a bit of a crud job maintaining 120. Looks like it's slowly descending, to be fair. Right, let's have a look at these engine mixtures. I mean, let's just go full rich. So yeah, look, you can see we're losing power. Look at the speed drop off. So it's definitely... I'm just going to try and monitor the EGT gauges. So let's go to 50. Those EGT gauges look pretty static to me. Yeah, they're not even moving. I swear when I did the test sector they moved. I've definitely got the latest version of the Carenado installed. Yeah, that's not modelled. But I swear on testing it did work. But at the moment they're not even moving. So basically, fuel has a cooling effect in the cylinder. So when you reduce or lean the mixture out, you're reducing the amount of fuel in the fuel air mixture. And obviously because there's less fuel cooling the cylinder, the EGT increases. But it's a useful gauge to set the mixtures with. And you just keep bringing the mixture back until the EGT peaks, and then it'll start dropping again, and then you might get some rough running, there's not enough fuel, and then you just lean on the rich side, so let the EGT drop slightly again. It should be all okay. Who's this? Centre says, contact me on 118.5. You're the boss. Oh, it takes ages. Nairobi Centre, hello, it's Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha maintaining flight level 120 inbound to Ivato.
Alpaca 1 Golf
Alpha. Oh, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, sorry, you are barely readable. Say again.
Alpaca 1 Golf
Alpha, you are identified by level 120. Continue.
As cleared, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. My oh my, he's very softly spoken. I'll turn the sim up again slightly. And I've maxed out the pilot's volume. And we'll turn down the music a little bit as well. There we are. Left throttle's not 100%. They should both be full power now. Yeah, it's only able to make about 10 inches, but I don't know, I feel like I should have more performance than this. I feel like I could be able to do this at 120, do at least 140 knots. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Paradox, what camera software do you use, Captain? I'd love to be able to move freely in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Default camera is cringe, or is resets in the most comfortable positions at the worst times. This is the default camera system. I've just assigned my arrow keys. You're quite lucky with the Carenado because it lets you pan outside the aircraft. Not all of them allow you to do that. Some of them are stuck in the cockpit. I just use control space to get to the default view and just alter it slightly, but it's just the default camera, no plug-in here. It's not as good as X-Plane's camera system.
I've seen my flight bandit in the wind. My cruise is 360, request 360 for...
11235, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Just realised on my Fly Live app there should be a blue arrow coming along the top here. I'm just going to reset it so you might just see it disappear.
50.
Just going to turn it off there, so I'll lose the flight information.
20, 10.
Thanks a lot, Captain Roger Busfat for the £5.
Here at LIA Flying Club, our Seneca was used for multi-engine ratings until the left engine.
Cleared of Atto 1 Alpha,
We still
Alpaca
use it
1
for
Golf
single
Alpha.
engine work on the remaining motor and commissioned a 172. With an office fan taped to the wing as our multi-trainer.
Outstanding. Thank you very much, Captain Roger. Beautiful for your £5 here at Lama International's Flying Club. Our Seneca use for multi-engine ratings until the left engine quit. We still use it for single engine work on the remaining motor. Brilliant. Thank you very much for your donation. Very, very kind. Thank you. Cool. Very good. Any more CFIs here? How am I doing? I'd appreciate some feedback. When we're going Tanzania, no, that's the country. Hotel Tango Kilo Juliet. We'll call sign Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. I'm just resetting the overlay here, guys. Okay, there we are. So it should now have. Yeah, you can see now. Look, there's a little blue line right at the top here. That's our progress bar. So Fly Live, the new overlay I'm using, is complete. Oh my god, look at my altitude. What's going on? Why is the pressure changing on its own? What? The altitude. Well, okay. I'm quite surprised ATC haven't come back of it yet. Yeah, well, I swear I was at altitude hold. Thanks. Yes, so what I was saying, yeah, the overlay here, it's very nice. Sometimes when you first load it in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it doesn't work, and the developer just said, I just reset it, and it seems to work there. But it works by default. It's very nice. Yeah, that's we can't control the pressure pulse. I know, Anthony, but even if the pressure changes, the aircraft's autopilot should maintain flight level 120 regardless. Thankfully, hey, ATC didn't notice a thing. Right, let's try that again. Turn on altitude hold. Right, we'll just keep an eye on that. Doesn't seem to want to drift, it would seem. Very cool. You need to select altitude on your transponder. Nothing to see here. To be fair, on VATSIM, the Mode C option just comes on automatically when you turn it on. Nothing to see here. Move along.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much to Magnus Mewen.
A little something from HKJK controller.
Oh, thank you very much, Magnus, from Göteborg. Thank you very much, Magnus, for your donation. Very kind. And yeah, we look forward to flying into Gothenburg again soon. We did fly out of Gothenburg in Microsoft Flight Simulator in the A320, I think, about a year and a half, but yet to visit in the Zemo mod. We'll be sure to visit there. Ah, Freddie, yes, sorry, close your cowls, you're quite right. Just getting cold, I guess, but again, I don't think... Oh, look, did you see that? Look at the cylinder head temperature, it just instantly changed. So I'm going cold again, look.
Connection, he will disconnect.
I swear I just saw those jump up. Oh, yeah, let's close them anyway. So power set, trim set, mixtures adjusted, engine temperatures monitored, cowl flaps as required. So oil temperature's a bit warm. Fuel pressure's fine, electrical load seems okay, all pressure's exactly where we'd like it to be. Full tanks of fuel, full tank of fuel, all good. At 777, can you tell me where to engage the autopilot in this PA44? Absolutely, so you've got a rocker switch here, the off position, sort of like the 737, you've got off, flight directors on, and then flight director and autopilot. It's a very basic system, so it has the ability to hold heading, nav, so I have it slaved to GPS at the moment, so it's following the GPS routing. Approach for an ILS, you can also use that to follow a VOR radial. Altitude hold, and vertical speed, but it doesn't have the...
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, contact Dar es Salaam Center 123.3, goodbye.
123.3, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. Thanks to the ATC, sir, bye. 123.3, who is this we're going to be talking to? Centre someone. Centre, very good evening. Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, maintaining flight level 120, inbound to Ivato for the Ivato 1 Alpha.
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, door control, welcome aboard. You identified. You can continue as well and expect the ILS runway 09.
As cleared, expect ILS 09, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. Perfect.
1 Golf Alpha, I do have the RNAV available if you'd like.
Request ILS 09, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha.
1 Golf Alpha, Roger, no problem, and you can call top of descent next.
We'll go Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. So, I mean, we're on... Look, the arrival begins at Ivato. We're still 47 minutes away. I mean, this SID and Star are not designed for multi-engine twin aircraft like this. But they're useful to use and something to follow at least, which is why I kind of chose this routing. What's a Frida check? Yeah, Frida we used to do. Fuel, radios, engines, direction indicator, and altitude, was it? I can't remember. We used to use that in the PPL. For the CPL and IR, we had a different acronym at Oxford, I think. Or did we? I can't remember. Frida, Hazel, then there was something else. Gump. I remember talking about Gump. I can't remember what it stands for.
Gravity 2406, leaving airspace, radar service, terminate 1 unit on 122.8, okay.
Schmendrick 213, what rudders do you use? The Cytec rudder pedals. So, yeah, is it a good aircraft and add-on? Needs a bit of tidying up, I fear,
40,
but
30,
overall it's nice.
20,
I mean, I'm obviously
10.
very high for this aircraft. I think the performance is applicable, but who knows.
Here is my donation towards the Bonios for the altitude bus tea and biscuits chat with Chief Pilot Jack.
Thanks a lot, PS, for your £5, who obviously duly noted the altitude bus. I was hoping you didn't realise that, neither has Jack. Unfortunately, has seen it, so I'll faithfully be able to get him some bonios whilst we have our debriefing there, Pete. Thank you very much for your donation. Very, very kind of you. JH Pilot 83, gas, Gump is gas, undercarriage, mixture, props, seatbelt. Ah. So gas meaning how much fuel you have left? Gears down, mixtures rich, I guess, and then props, max RPM. I know. But very cool. And I think, if I... correct me if I'm wrong, that might be Mt Kilimanjaro ahead here. Now, we'll have a look at this rival later. Oh my god, really? Child. Unbelievable. What was I going to say? Yeah, that's Mt Kilimanjaro, and this arrival takes you kind of around it, skirts around and stuff. So I'll have a look at that. Anthony Gas referring to quantity on proper tank. Now, I can vaguely remember using it, but I think it was GUMP, but at OAA they used a slightly longer acronym. It was like, not GUMP S and then some other letters as well, but I can't remember.
Sierra Papa, we're back.
Skylar and Patrick, do you use ultra settings or what do you use? Just wondering. I'm on high end, not ultra high end, but the FPS I get, well, I can tell you now because Flying Live shows me right now, 50 to 60. It's fluctuating between 50 and 60 and 45, so it's smooth.
Welcome back.
Look at this scenery, really nice. Jonathan Dixon, you've subbed. Welcome aboard, buddy. Gump actually comes to the Air Force in World War II. Gas undercarriage mixture prop. Very good. I'll try and do my Gump before we land. My oh my. But yeah, I mean, yeah, as I was saying, the aircraft, it's okay. I wish that, I don't know, I've definitely got the latest version installed of the Carenado, the version 1.2. But I did this test set yesterday, and I swear when I leaned the mixture out, the EGT did rise. And I was able to kind of set it a little bit more efficiently. Here we just have a random setting. It's going to be interesting to get on top of Mt Kilimanjaro later, because I'm basically at full power here, barely able to maintain 120 knots. I wouldn't be able to climb another 7,000 feet, I fear. I'll see how high we can get at least. You're quite right, Guru NK. 574 watching, only 188 likes. Come on, guys. Yes, if you are enjoying watching 737 Captain trying to remember blow off the rust off his instrument rating skills flying a multi-engine piston aircraft, smash the thumbs up button. And if you are here to join the Microsoft Flight Simulator community flight, we'll be landing in around 45 minutes. I'll taxi on stand, reload the sim online, and then we'll try and fly around Mt Kilimanjaro, get as high as we can. If you are enjoying the content, it'll help greatly if you do smash the thumbs up button. There we are, though. So we're past Ivato now, inbound to Losin. So we are now actually on
Milan 235 hitting 188.
On the arrival now.
With you 123.3.
And let me grab the charts for you. So, inbound from Ivato to Losin. It's an RNAV arrival here, so there's no nav aids to tune up, I'm afraid, but we are still kind of outbound on 207 from Nairobi, so we're 70 miles away from where we started already. Look. Once we get to Losin, it's going to be a left turn, 113. We can descend down to flight level 100. We're under radar control, so we should be able to get some radar minimums. From there, we're going to go to Ivamu, to Umtop. From Umtop, we can go down from 100 to an altitude of 6,500 feet until we get to Tesov. And Tesov is on the extended centre line for the RNAV approach for 09, but it will put us straight in for the ILS here. So we'll intercept the localizer. Let's get these naves tuned now. What's that for me? Sorry, was that Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha?
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, say again, please.
Sorry, I thought you were calling me Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. Oops. I thought I heard an alpaca, and I don't think there's many other alpacas around today. Right, we'll put 110.9 on standby for the ILS. 1109 is on standby for Nav 1 and Nav 2. When we get a bit closer, sorry, I've just realised I've got the nav charts up here. We're going to have 2 NDBs to pass. The first one is at Kilimanjaro, which is 283.
I request to leave the cockpit for 5 minutes.
If you follow what is at the proof, you can hold them back.
Back, 235.
First ADF? No, it wasn't ADF frequency. So 283, and then another Kilimanjaro NDB, 298. Perfect. And there is a VOR here, 15.3. So as soon as we're outbound from Ivato to Losin, I mean, we're not using the VOR now, so let's tune 15.3 as the active.
November Whiskey Bravo, roger that problem, so you can report them back.
Perfect. So the VORs, I'll just keep the charts up for you guys. The VOR for Kilimanjaro is active on nav 2 and nav 1 with the ILS on standby. Final approach course is 088. Because it's in GPS, I think it's just leaves the needle lined up. We'll set this to our final approach course now. It's very early to do it, but we're using GPS to navigate anyway. So 088 is set. Minimums. I mean, it's all for category C or D. We have one for category A. It can't be any lower than 200 feet anyway, so we'll just use 3132. So 200 feet AGL. So I'll make a note of that. There we are. Perfect. Landing performance. We'll just fake 8 at whiskey. Should be no problem for us. And there's general aviation parking. So that's what we'll try and do. Very cool. Oops. That was my Xbox controller turning back on again. You can deselect airline charts. Oh yes, I remember Navigraph has the option to have a fiddle with that. I mean, it's fair. Oh, we're losing altitude again. I mean, its altitude hold is not so good. It would seem as if when the pressure changes, perhaps in the sim, the aircraft is just following it's maintaining a fixed pressure setting as opposed to the actual altitude on here. Wasn't technically a level bust. But it's very fast. Bit more control over my drone camera. Look at the view below though, it looks amazing. I don't think the resolution here is quite as high perhaps as it would be in other parts of the world here. But it still looks pretty good. I just find sometimes ortho's a little bit sharper. Francois, you're busy studying for air law, but I missed the start of the stream. I'll let you off there. What a drag that topic is, though. I remember. Russell Skipper, when you stuff it into Kilimanjaro when you run out of air, can you get some Kenyan coffee? I'll bear that in mind, Russell, as I plummet towards the ground. Anthony, I missed it. Is the alternate Samos? Unbelievable. Our alternate is actually to go back to Nairobi. The autopilot in this isn't great. Yeah, not so much at maintaining altitude.
Stop off, we can descend the flight level 110.
Francois, oh my word, it is boring, and it's CPL as well. Oh, I remember. I don't think that is Mount Kilimanjaro ahead. No, that's definitely not. I think it's a high peak. But one thing they have got right, the external model is beautiful. It's really nice. I mean, look at the quality. We just need a couple of turbochargers on these engines. That's what we need. Some clouds ahead, but I think we'll just skirt above them. So I did hear some people report weather, and there was a chance of some rain showers, I think, forecast CBs. No stapler, not today, Crew Rush. Just landed in Kilimanjaro, nasty storms to the north of the field. Uh-oh, thanks Grant for the heads up. Let's have a look here at the... Oh yes, the actual METAR showing CBs. That could be interesting. Well, for the community flight, I'll probably turn live weather off. But we're running everything live weather now, as I always do for these sort of more serious flights. And the METAR's not been updated for over an hour now. Flight Sim is visually so far ahead if only could mash together X-Plane and FS. So, yeah, David, that's a good way of putting it. I looked at the recently released video by Microsoft Flight Simulator about aerodynamics, and I was impressed with how things like, the topography of the ground and the mountains affect the airflow when you're close there. But for, I don't know, the Airbus is sort of like the nearest kind of, I haven't flown that fly-by-wire for a while. I don't know, people speak very highly of it. I don't know, it just feels a bit different to say the Airbus and the X-Plane, where all I can compare is, say, the Zebo mod handles beautifully. Look, it's creeping down again. Look, the Zebo mod handles really nicely. I haven't got a comparable aircraft yet still in Microsoft Flight Simulator to compare. Right, what's the outside air temperature? We've got a little bit of cloud here. We are certified for flight in light icing. It's just want to make sure is he talking to me? 20 degrees, quite warm up here. It's someone else. Yeah, I don't have any de-icing equipment on this aircraft though. There's no boots on the wings when you want to go into too many icing conditions. I remember the Seneca had boots, and we could go into some light icing. Isn't Zebo working on a 737 for 2020? No, it's completely different. It's not able to do that really. We've still got work to do on the X-Plane 11 version, but he has no intentions of making one for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Enes, hi Captain, can you make a tutorial series on how to fly VFR and VATSIM for beginners? I'd need that guidance as well, Enes. It's been such a long time since I've flown VFR, so I'd have to look it up there. But I'm at the moment working on more tutorials for the Zebo mod. We made a tutorial, first one in quite some time. It was actually quite popular. A lot of people have messaged me saying, "Oh, can you please make more tutorials? I really enjoyed the last tutorial." So I'm planning some more in the Zebo mod coming up. Bartos, do you use Rex for weather? Nope, this is just default Microsoft Flight Simulator weather. Which I know the live weather can have some limitations in it, but it seems okay today. Someone gave me a tip, which is, they said, when you start the sim, go to clear skies, then load live weather in-game, as opposed to starting the flight with live weather on. TJPMDG is working on a 737, so I've heard, and I'm well aware of. I'll have to see what they can produce here. So you can see why, on this arrival, they really want you to maintain flight level 120, no lower than 100, because it's hard to see through the clouds, but there is a large mountain here now. Excuse my lack of geographical knowledge for the surrounding area. I think you can actually bring up the world map here. Doesn't actually say what it is. Yeah, it's this mountain here just to the north of Makuyuni. I guess that's it here, what we can see. We're going to be turning left before there. Thank you very much to Adam Hammond, just joined as a member. Welcome on board, buddy. Glad you joined the content. You'll get invited to our members-only Discord. Enjoy your custom emojis and chats. To get into the members-only Discord, synchronise your YouTube and Google account. If you type in Google YouTube synchronisation, YouTube Discord synchronisation, follow those steps there. Make sure you do the step for synchronisation with Discord in the Discord app on the web browser, not the desktop app or your mobile app, otherwise it won't work. Thank you very much. Cool. She's creeping up again. TJ, do your clouds look a bit grainy? Yeah, a little bit. You can see when you zoom in, look, they look a bit smushy. I think that's a good way of describing it. They're nice. From a kind of like here, at a distance, they look great here. But when you get a bit closer, they go a bit more kind of mushy, is the way I describe it. I'm going to turn the sounds down a little bit in game here because this controller's quite quiet.
Alright, that's your above.
Should be better now. So it is quite warm up here still. 20 degrees. QA Pilot did a video on grainy clouds, kind of worked for me. Ah, very good. Well, QA Pilot is your man when it comes to fixing and tweaking flight simulators. He is the guy. really, guys, recommend that if you want to fine-tune your settings or make changes in the sim as well. So go check out Q8 Pilot's videos. I've been watching loads of his to help tweak and fix things in X-Plane 11. So if he's made one to fix grainy-looking clouds, I'll take a gander. Yes, there we are, sneaking up again. Come on, autopilot. Definitely have 1013 set there. Again, it should, yeah, the autopilot is just locked onto the actual altimeter, not to the fact that the pressure's changing over time. Unless it's just not that. It might not be that accurate in real life. Johans, do I use QFE or QNH whilst takeoff? Depends where you are in the world. Always use QNH pretty much everywhere I've trained, and in real life, commercially, certainly in Europe, we only use QNH here. That means the altimeter will read the elevation of the airfield when you're on the ground. If you set your QFE, it'll read 0 feet, which is going to be quite helpful. But I just use QNH. Just then reference everything off the elevation, and you'll be fine. A little bit of IMC. And although at flight level 120, we are very close to the ground. Expect a little bit of moisture perhaps, but can't see anything today. Very good. So, if you just joined into the stream, welcome on board. We are in the PA44 Seminole, routing from Nairobi to Tanzania. We are just past the halfway point for this sector. We should be landing in around 30 minutes or so. And we'll be then flying an ILS approach, runway 09. Once we've landed, I'll then log back into the sim to fly the community group flight. Look at this altitude. I think this is probably a little bit of turbulence here modelled. Whoa, there we go, 1,000 feet per minute. Sheesh, the autopilot's a bit slow to react. Let's see how it does it. Probably a little bit of updrafts and a little bit of downdraft from the cloud. Quite realistic. It's quite nice to see this. These effects are quite realistic in a way, but it just means we're not maintaining altitude. The autopilot's not so good at flying accurately. Again, let's go vertical speed. At around 300 feet. I don't want to go too excessive because we don't have the performance available to get back up. The Candino, on behalf of Nairobi ATC, we thank you for flying Nairobi. Safe landing. Thank you very much. The ATC has been spot on for the entire sector, and it was great to actually visit somewhere else than Europe, the US. You know, it was great to see that there was an event here on VATSIM, and it was the first thing that jumped to my attention. Said, "Oh, you know, what a fantastic opportunity to discover some of Africa." Not that we can see much of it below at the moment, but we'll be doing our community group flight afterwards in beautiful Cavo KVMC around Mt Kilimanjaro. MSBC Zinc, is this Microsoft Flight Simulator? It sure is. There we are, back up to flight level 120. Out hold. So we've got the VOR, remember, for Kilimanjaro tuned, which is 15.3. Quite interestingly, I think Microsoft Flight Simulator respects line of sight. So when I did this test sector, basically between where we are now, if I bring up the little VFR map, look, between where we are and the airport, there is Mt Kilimanjaro. No, sorry, that's Mt Kilimanjaro here. But there is a large mountain there. And I genuinely think, I say genuinely, I'm not sure, but I think the line of sight for the VOR, because the mountains away, is being blocked, so that's why we're not picking up the VOR, even though distance-wise, I mean, how far are we? We can't be that far away, as the crow flies there. So, yeah, I reckon we're probably, what, 70 miles? So you should be picking up the VOR. MSBC Zinc, would you like to do some formation flying? Yeah, on the community group flight, in real life, yeah, I'd love to have a go, of course. Plain old Ben, the autopilot is pretty good in real life. I'd say it's not working very well in the sim, yes. I mean, I'm constantly having to revert to vertical speed to get back up to 120. So, again, some fine-tuning, perhaps.
European 610 leading my airspace radar service terminate minutes beginning
through that cloud. Oh! Fiona Mayer, thank you very much for purchasing a check close hold mug. Steve Mayer's wife. Outstanding. I'm trying to read the comment here, Fiona. Oh, I've just missed it. Oh dear. Well, I'll try and catch it in the stream. Thank you very much for purchasing that. Steve Mayer, one of the members on the channel, his wife is very active in chat always. Just purchased a check close hold bug, so thank you very much for your contribution. That's very, very kind, and I hope you're still getting a chance to fly the Blériot 11. Amazing, thank you. I'm sure Steve will send a picture of the bug upon its arrival. Now bear in mind, Teespring, they're usually okay, especially in the UK and Europe, but some people have to wait a long time for it to arrive. No control over that, unfortunately. But thank you very much. Look at the scenery now, wow. Mega. Do you guys like the new overlay then? That's here to stay. Massive thanks to Matteo, one of my members, who made that for me. It's just very tidy, I think. It's very nice. It's not too imposing. It's just, I think, a nice, tidier one than the one I was using before. Steve, finally I can have a brew in a decent mug. Yeah, I think you've been trying to get it for a while. We had a few issues with the Teespring store where some of the products, items were being put in the checkout, but they just weren't being processed. And, we got in contact with them and they resolved the issues. Steve Harrison, I remember from a previous stream that your favourite flight aircraft would be the Rockwell Commander. I own one if you fancy a trip one day. Oh, Steve Harrison, yes. My stepdad used to have a private pilot's licence when I was much, much younger, and he had a share in a Rockwell Commander. I remember the registration, G-Jerk, Golf Juliet Uniform Romeo Golf. But, I mean, we're talking 20 years ago, yeah, over 20 years ago now, yeah, in this aircraft, and used to have little trips in it. But back then, I was actually quite scared of flying when I was a kid. It wasn't until I got chucked in the back of a Tiger Moth and said, "Look, if you're scared of flying, look at this aircraft that's 80 years old and can fly barrels and loops and stuff." And then I completely lost all fear of any sort of flying. I find that quite amusing. Right, there we are, inbound from Losin now. We should be making a left turn imminently. Is it going to turn left? Or am I going to have to just use heading select? It's going to go right over the waypoint, isn't it? 46. There we are. Left turn to Ivamu. There she goes. Beautiful. G-Jerk, Juliet Uniform Romeo Golf Rabbitavis. Andrew Fuller, just your information.
Right after the seminar, will be on from 09. You can report takeoff, not above 6,000 feet.
Oh, I think that might be me.
Okay, Sierra Papa Alpha, copy that.
Oh,
Get the RNAV 09 report test.
Oh, someone's flying the RNAV 09 today. Andrew Fuller, just for your information, Captain, the overlay and the band at the bottom is ever so slightly clipped on my television. Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, if the one that shows the donations and stuff should be okay. It might be the TV resolution, but thank you for the heads up on that. I'll have a little look later. Tim, the registration, which I mentioned, was perhaps named after one of your neighbours. Amazing. My, what's the wind up here? Look, our present heading is 108 degrees, but we're tracking. Well, that's our actual track, and then so we've got 5 degrees of drift here. I mean, it's quite a brisk wind. So there's Losin. Let's bring the Navigraph charts up here. So we'll carry on going to Ivamu. Still, look, we're well on this arrival here. We'll be well into the descent now in the 7-3. But we'll commence our descent just before Umtod, to down to 6,500. Sorry, we can actually go down to flight level 100 now. So what I'll do is just wait a little bit longer, and then we'll start our descent to flight level 100. That's just the minimum level. The elevation, what's the elevation here in Kilimanjaro? We'll try and work out how much height we need to lose. So the elevation here is still very high, look, 2,900, let's call that 3,000 feet for cash. So we need to lose 9,000 feet. If we do 500 feet per minute, it's going to be 18 minutes that's going to take. So we'll commence our descent in approximately, is that 5 minutes? MSBC Sync, how do you get live ATC? I'm on VATSIM network. Fiona, you've not been in the Bolero for a bit, but do plan on having another go. It's a fun plane, very cool. Zani, I think you can push end. Yes, yeah, I know you can press 0 to go between the this view and 1 to go external, but I never ever do it. I just seem to always use the command on the top browser. There is a little bit of weather to the north of Kilimanjaro that's ahead. Oh, sorry, charts. Yeah, charts. Thank you. That's why I miss Avitab, because I can't tell unless I look at the actual stream whether the charts are up or not. Ollie Crocking 3,000 feet for cash, what I'm saying. It's close enough. Makes the maths easier. It's all about making life as easy as possible. Look at the scenery though. Martin Reyes, hello from Uganda. Awesome stream, Captain. Good day to you, sir. Thanks, Pedro, for pointing out the charts. Sean Art Studio, any drama in the stream so far? I've only just been able to log into it. So far, so good. ATC fantastic. We've been zooming over Kenya, about to enter Tanzania. It's been really fun to visit a different part of the world. So cool. What I really love about the sim is, although all that cloud we flew over 10 minutes ago, look at the shade underneath. It looks absolutely awesome. The shadow effects are really quite cool.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much, Dr. Livingston, for your pound donation. He says, I say, old boy, can you help? I appear to be a bit lost. Thanks for the donation, Dr. Livingston. Well, you've come to the right place if you are lost. What is that referencing? Sean R. Studio, excellent. I'll watch it all back later as well. I've still used that command there. So yeah, what did we say? We need to lose 9,000 feet. We'll aim to do 500 feet per minute, so it'll take about 18 minutes or so. So I think we'll commence our descent very shortly. And hopefully, this isn't a CB or a thunderstorm. This could be a thunderstorm here, a cell, which will be just to the north of the airport, which is what that person reported on chat there. Yes, we have been at flight level 120, so you might be feeling a little bit hypoxic. Ideally, you don't want to be going up a flight level 100. I imagine I've got big lungs. Right, so we've got everything tuned. Remember the minimums we mentioned was 3,132 feet. Again, just to highlight the charts. Let's turn it off as well. There we are, approaching Ivamu, and we can commence descent here. So these are minimum altitudes on the arrival procedurally, but 80 could clear you lower. We'll just pass this ridge here, and then we'll request descent. So that'll be around 18 minutes to go.
And Sierra Papa Alpha overhead test of 6,000 feet.
Smurfy, X-Plane 11 or Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. For me, still X-Plane 11 with regards to flying commercial airliners, by far. With regards to flying GA and stuff like this, yes, this aircraft, it's nice. I like it. It just needs a little bit more fine-tuning with the model. But look at it, you can just jump in the world and fly wherever you are. And I think there's some really good GA aircraft coming soon. Is the A2A simulation someone mentioned? Are they releasing something soon? I mean, they only make high quality products. I think coming. I think it's moving towards Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. I can't wait to fly a pay. Well, the Embraer is the first payware commercial jet airliner coming, I think, for the sim. So that'll be a good one. Peter, will this be a normal straight-in approach, or will you do this procedural turn? This will be a straight-in approach. So it does depict here via TESOF. Now, if I briefly select here the RNAV arrival, you can see, look, there's TESOF on the extended sense line. So it's from IMPEC. IMPEC's 5 miles, plus 6, 11, plus 4, 15. So that's TESOF, where the star terminates, puts us right on a 15-mile final for the ILS. There's no need to do any procedural turns which are depicted. There's a procedural turn based off the first Kilimanjaro NDB. That's only if you're coming in from the back of the localizer there, or outbound from Kilimanjaro. So yeah, we can go straight in on this arrival. Right, we'll request descent. Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha request descent.
Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha, you can descend and maintain flight level 100.
So maintain flight level 100, Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha. Now we are top of descent in chat. And descent power settings, what was that? It's 15 inches, I think. And slowly reduce power as you descend. So what we'll do, press vertical speed, set in 500 feet per minute, and we'll just reduce that power ever so slightly to 15 inches. And the governor will be altering the angle of the blade to ensure we maintain a constant RPM. Am I right in saying that? I think. Oh dear. There we go. So I just add a little bit more power just so I don't go too slow. I also descent altimeter standard, just set flight level 100. Cow flaps are closed. That's important in the descent to keep the engine warm. We don't want to shock cool it. Power is required, so yeah, we'll go down with 16 inches. And as we descend, the manifold pressure will increase. Could get interesting on this approach. I mean, to be fair, I think the worst of that weather is off our left wing. We might be just going through some cumulus cloud here, but look at this, that's spectacular. Absolutely gorgeous. I just love it. The world is here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. No downloading maps and ortho and making sure it works. Hypoxic crews consult the governor. Different governor, but yes, we were a little bit high here. I think in my R we never went up above 80. Hold on, I'll use my keyboard aside. So I think this centre will take us all the way down. Oh no, we do have Kilimanjaro Tower. Oh no, we don't. We don't, unfortunately. But the centre will take us all the way down, I believe. Oh, TJ, Key West looks rubbish with all those stalagmites. Yes, there does seem to be parts of the world where they have huge spikes appearing out the ground at the moment, unfortunately. So approaching Ivamu. Remember, we need to stop descent at flight level 100. Just going to keep that rate of descent going down so we don't get high. Oh, and as we descend, we slowly enrich
overhead the final
the engine, but again, we don't think that's correctly modeled. Where is the alternate? Looks pretty hairy. It should be to go back to our point of departure, but yes, it does look a little...
And all stations, door control now closing. If on frequency, monitor Unicom 122.8. Thank you for flying it, take care.
Nice ATC, sir. Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping we'd get all the way down. Oh well.
Thanks to ATC, have a great day.
Well, over to Unicom it is. Well, it looks a bit hairy. Yeah, I think it's just cumulus. You know, I probably would want to go around it in this aircraft, but we're okay. So we'll maintain flight level 100 for a short while. We'll have to respect the charts now. There's no ATC here. We need to maintain that until after UMTOD. So we'll just push out, hold now. There we are, out holds. I'll increase that power again. So, yeah, it's a little more dense now, so we're getting a little bit more pressure, a little bit more power out the engine. Anthony referencing Toto there. Oh, Anthony, I was really thinking about playing Toto Africa, but I'd get a copyright strike and the video would be taken down. It would have been so cool. Cool. So inbound now to UMTOD, flight level 100 passing UMTOD. We need to go down to 6,500 feet after TESOV. What I'll do is step down to the platform altitude, which is 6,000, to intercept the ILS. Now, something to bear in mind, I don't know if it was just a glitch yesterday, but the ILS it captured, but the ILS was nowhere near correct. It was basically as if the glide slope antenna was halfway down the runway, so it initially was on profile but then ended up going very high. It reminded me of Die Hard 2, remember on the film where they they altered the height of the glide slope. It was so unrealistic. The aircraft then hit the runway really low, as if like ATC or they should have respected the other rules. Anthony, would you get a strike if you just sang the song? Oh, trust me, it's ridiculous. Like, this playlist I'm playing is a royalty-free playlist, but there was a couple of songs that somehow slipped in there. And as soon as I'd finished the stream, I already had an email, and the software, I think, just could pick it up straight away. And all I have to do, it's really annoying, if I get it, you have to either remove that portion of the video, or leave the video completely demonetized. And if you do that, the producer of the music or whoever wrote the song gets it. Now, I understand the rights and stuff like that, but it's just, if I do that, if we edit a video post stream, it gets rid of live chat, which is really annoying, because I know a lot of people like to watch streams back to watch the live chat, but if you edit it at all, it just removes the live chat, which is a right, it's a real shame. But I no doubt Toto's Africa has probably 500 million views on YouTube or something, such a popular song. Pilot Mike, was that the yeah? Pilot Mike, I remember it was Windsor in Die Hard 2. Was the call sign, wasn't it? Windsor. Oh my days! It wasn't that long ago I watched the movie. Guys, check out Pilot Mike on Instagram as well. Good friend of mine, a 787 first officer I've known for years and years and years. Moderates my streams as well. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Yeah, Nicola, Die Hard 2 just holding the outer marker, I remember. Excellent. Looks like then we have picked up Kilimanjaro VOR, and we can see, look, we've got the ident here, Kilo Victor. Now, quite interesting with the Garmin system. I think if you've got the ident here, Kilo Victor, I don't think there's any requirement to pick it up on voice if you've got the text there. Oops. So, I think that was me just turning off the... What have I done? Did I turn the autopilot off there accidentally? I think I did. Quickly get that back on. There we are. So approaching UMTOD. We can now descend to 6,500 feet on the local QNH, which is... take the power off here. Still, oh, it's 1013. That hasn't been updated. We'll press B. There we are. I think that sets it for me anyway. Vertical speed again. Set something reasonable, around 700 feet per minute, and reduce that power again to around 15 inches. Oh, again, I forgot to left the charts on again. There we are, down to 6,500. So all I've done is gone to vertical speed, guys. Set the local QNH. Well, if it's 1013. Well, and according to the sim, it's 1007, but Kilimanjaro says 1013. I had this before, where the actual QNH in live weather is different to what we're getting in at the airport here. But you can see, look, the extended centre line. The VOR is on the station. This is so we can actually follow this later on. But even you can see, look, it's on GPS. That shouldn't be. This should be showing your deviation from the GPS. Going back to VOR, well, I don't want to do that because the aircraft's then going to try and intercept the localizer, and I don't want it to do the VOR. But it should be displaying the deviation from the magenta line on the GPS. Switching over to VLOC, that means the nav system is no longer going to follow the magenta line, but it's going to try and intercept that radial. There we are. We're passing 9,000 feet now. can see again, we set that 15 inches, so the power is increasing. We'll go back down to 15. T's and P's, all temperature looks a bit higher, but fuel pressure's fine. Pressure's perfect, cylinder head temperature's fine. EGT is not modelled. Or further. Oh, is that moving? Let me just. I don't know. I wonder if it's reverted back to a previous build, but it was definitely working yesterday. Perfect. So we've got DME distance of 20 miles. Level off at 6,500 feet. Kilimanjaro is over the distance here, away from the nasty weather, although it's only cumulus. There we are. MOGF. What's MOGF? Yes, the members only group flight. A new acronym. I mean, who was that coined by? I can't remember. Was it Shorty? I can't remember. Oh, look in the distance. There it is. There is the runway. It's 7 minutes away. And let's monitor the GPS, see if it turns at TESOV to maintain the extended centre line. In fact, you know what? Why not I just tune the ILS now? 109 active. There we are. Localizers alive and glide slope. Well, we're around. How many miles away? Oh, there's no DME. I was around 17 miles, so actually what I can do now is I'll switch to heading select and I'll fly manually onto the localizer, and then we'll full lock. We'll just keep it descending. Can actually intercept the glide slope from here, should work. Oops, so much for my intercept heading, just overshot the centre line here. 1,000 feet to go. Jake Morley, what approach is it? We're flying the... Oh my... That was my fault. I'm a bit aggressive there with the heading change. We're flying the ILS approach runway 09 into Kilimanjaro. Here's the chart. Oh look, the ADF's working as well. That's very cool. So this is pointing towards 283, the first Kilimanjaro NDB, which you can see here. And then we should get a needle swing when we fly over that. Oh my goodness, it's just my manual flying here is terrible. We'll maintain 6,000 feet upon reaching. We can maintain 6,500 until we pass TESOV, which we have done. So we're going down to our platform altitude now. So we'll descend to 6,000 feet. And we'll do the before landing checklist. Now, we've got the seatbelts fastened, the fuel selectors on, mixtures too rich. Well, we don't go fully rich here because of the altitude, so we're going to have to guesstimate a setting to ensure maximum power. I wonder if there's a table to ensure you have the right mixture set. I can't remember. Fuel pumps, it says turn on for the approach. Well, it's a bit early, but I'll put the bits to say before landing. That's going to be in around 5 minutes. That's arm localizer now, so I'm going to switch from this to V-lock and touch nav, or engage nav. So it should be intercepting the localizer. Approaching 6,000. Just going to further reduce power, just to make sure we keep our speed reasonable. Oh no, I don't want to go around 700 feet per minute.
50, 40,
Illegal. Oh, what 30, FPS are we running? Around 50 20, to 60.
10.
Thanks a lot, P-Test, again for another donation. Thanks for the £5.
What is this we hear about doing a mean beatbox? Boom, PFFT, boom, PFFT.
What are you on about, PS? What's Mariana been going on about? Unbelievable. Thanks, Pete. Oh, I missed that one. Oh, my days. Right, I'm going to arm approach now. Approaching the platform altitude. Approach armed. Oh, I think it might have already captured the glide slope. Who knows? Let's just do 100 feet per minute, so we're at the platform altitude. Add a bit of power here. Increase the RPM to max now. We're on approach. We've got 3,000 feet to descend. Yes. Is it going to capture? There's the NDB swing. The only thing in Microsoft Flight Sim is it's all jagged. In X-Plane, the needles swing really smoothly. So we'll tune the next NDB, which was 290. There's glide slope capture. So we'll bring the power back, not too far. So maximum flap extension speed is 111 knots. So I'm going to drop the gear now just to help with the speed. As long as you're below 140 knots, you can bring the gear out. Just waiting for... Oh! You made me jump up! I thought there was actually someone outside the window. Unbelievable. We're below 111 knots, so I can select a notch of flaps. Oh, Mariana made me jump. I just had to leave the room. Thanks a lot. Honestly, because like a shadow came over me, and I'm right by my office, and the window view's outside. It made me jump. Unbelievable. Right, so we've got one notch of flaps, gear down. Gumps then, so what was it? Gear and undercarriage. Oh no, it was fuel or something. Mixture's fully rich. Well, we don't need it fully rich. Max RPM. Initial speed, we want 85 knots. Go flap 25 now. And you'll notice, look, we're bang on the glide slope, but if you have a look outside, 4 whites, and it just deviates higher and higher. I don't know if it's that Mt Kilimanjaro's ILS is bent, you know, not quite as straight as it should be, or it's an issue with the aircraft. In fact, if anyone would like to jump into another aircraft to check the ILS, it would be appreciated, but I'm going to stop using it because it doesn't work. It didn't on the test sector, and it's not working now. There's 85 knots. Turn the music off here. You announce on Unicom what we're doing actually. Unicom Alpaca 1 Golf Alpha is on a 3-mile final for runway 09 Kilimanjaro. Right, I'll disconnect. It's not doing what I wanted to do. There we are. So let's pitch now. I've got flaps 25 set. I'm not going to go full flaps. And ignoring the localized deviation seems fine, but the glide slope deviation's a bit high. Go take a little bit more power off here. Don't want to go fully idle really, but I want to bring that speed back. Is it 80 knots or 75? I made a note of it somewhere. I can't find it anywhere. Final 85 knots. So you can see, look, the glide slope deflection now is full scale high, but we're 2 reds, 2 whites. We're perfectly on profile. So this is where the glide slope scale should be. I don't know, as I said, if it's... I don't think it's the Carenado, because I've done an ILS approach elsewhere and it worked fine. I think Microsoft Flight Simulator's ILS at Kilimanjaro isn't straight. We've got the correct ident, so it's definitely... Or is it Kilo? Maybe it's a different one. Right, landing checklist then. Fuel pumps on, landing lights as required. We'll leave them off when they're meant to be on. Aren't they? Oh. There we are, landing lights on. Cowflow. Oh yeah, I should have the carb heat open as well under the set. They should be open as well. Oh. 1. 2. There we are. All of the for the name of realism here. A bit fast here. Unfortunately, I don't have any plugins to tell you my landing rate. Just assume it will be butter. And guys, if you'd like to join the community flight, fire up your Microsoft Flight Simulator now. We'll be back online in the I think it's Northern Europe server, Northeast, whatever. I'll try and show you before I launch the flight. And we'll go and see if we can get up to Mt Kilimanjaro. I'm going to take this aircraft, but it'll be quite a challenge, I think, to get up to 19,000 feet. Anyway, on final. Speed's a bit high. Again, I want to be doing about 85 knots. Again, if you could see the instrument here, the HSI, look at the glide slope showing we're way too low, but it's completely wrong. Speed's okay. 85 knots, we're in trim. Three reds. There we are, back on profile. Looking very nice. Just got to keep that picture. Doesn't matter if you're in a 737 or a Cessna or a space shuttle, keep that aiming point in the same point in the windscreen. All the way until you're over the threshold. Then when you get over the threshold, look towards the end of the runway. Well, in a 737, I think you went a bit lower here, but it's very important you don't keep looking at the aiming point, otherwise it'll pass below you. looking good. Just dip below the profile. Cut the power. Don't do that in a 7.3. A bit high. And hold it off. Hold it off. Oh, come on. Oh, lovely. We're down. Brake. And we'll take the first exit. What a beauty. Outstanding. Flaps up. After landing. Landing light can come off shortly. But, superb. Excellent. Right, so we've vacated. Let's just let it roll here for a short while. Let's grab the taxi charts here. So we've just vacated here at Whiskey. Have we got any ability to see the aircraft to help you here? There we are. So we're going to make a left onto Quebec. Oh, sorry, left onto Victor, and then we're going to taxi onto Quebec to the general aviation parking. What a lovely little flight that was. Very enjoyable. And there is Kilimanjaro in the distance. Look, we're going to go try and land on top of that shortly. Oh, why is it not turning? There we are. Excellent. Check nose wheel. Yes, it was a little bit fast. Vacating. Oh, sorry. I know what you mean. Check the nose wheel. Yes, I don't think that's reflecting at all. It's just a nice little mirror there, but it doesn't actually do its job. Right, mixtures go fully rich. And we'll take the next right. Carry on with that after landing flow. So landing lights come off. Make sure lean for taxi. Yeah, I should probably have a little bit more leaned out. Cowl flaps are already open. Oh look, there's a nice little GA aircraft here already. Let's go park next to him. Ah, here's our man to take us to the Kilimanjaro range. Hello, sir. Excellent. Or ma'am, I should say. Right, parking brake is set. What have we got to do then? Flaps are up, landing lights off, fuel pumps off. Should have done that at the taxi end. Cowl flaps open. They are 1000 RPM. Mixtures then to idle cut off, but first the avionics off. And I love that it actually turns off the radio tuning panel. That's really cool. And electrical, non-essential electrics off. Mixture to idle cut off. Oh, well, thanks for quitting the flight for me. Why has Microsoft Flight Simulator done that for? Oh, well, thank you very much. Hour 17 minutes it took. Well, I was hoping to actually do a full shutdown checklist. What happens if I push continue? I guess it goes back into the sim. There we are. Nice. Yeah, nice little aircraft. Just wish they do a little bit of tweaking, and I'm sure it'll be a nice little training multi-engine piston aircraft for us to fly again. But overall, really liked it. And if you enjoy these sort of videos, let me know in the comments section below, and we can do some more IRFR flying in this aircraft anywhere in the world. I'll keep eyes peeled on VATSIM events as well. So it's very, very nice. Yes, I hate that too, Nicola. If I can disable it, I'll try and find out what to do. Guys, so not quite the end of the stream. What I'm going to do is take a quick 5-minute break. I'll then reload back into the airport. I'm going to be on the runway ready to go. If you want the ICAO code for Mt Kilimanjaro, it's Hotel Tango Kilo Juliet. And what we're going to do, we're going to take off and head. I think there's the runway. There's the mountain here. So I'm going to take the Carenado Seminole. I can never pronounce this word correctly. Seminole. And try to get up there. If I can't, we'll have to abandon and come back here. But we'll see what we can do. Guys, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. And I'll see you all shortly in about 5 minutes. Cheers. Welcome back, guys. Thank you very much for that intermission. Back in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Absolute chaos is ensuing around me, which is great to see. Loads of people online joining on the group flight. We got here, we got Jawless, Nail 227, RF Osgate, I think that's a member, Stefan P, Nelly, ST24, MLP Grow Henry. Now you'll notice the sim has crashed. The reason is I've just turned my Xbox controller on. It always does this. There we are. Oh, and it's kicked off all the other players. Well, that's going to be a bit pointless. Hopefully it'll... I might have to rejoin here. Why has it done that? What? Let me just... I'll give it a few seconds. There we are. It's just catching up with everyone there. So yeah, what server on? North Europe. Anyone is free to join. If you might not display, because I think it limits the amount of people it can display here. We're on runway 09. We're all in a multitude of light aircraft, which is great to see. And some of you will have the performance. I don't think I will, but we're going to fly towards Mt Kilimanjaro here to the northeast. And yeah, I'm going to try and land on top of the mountain. If not, I'll land on the side, but I'm just going to try and get as high as we can. It'll be very enjoyable for sure. Right, just for a bit of fun then. Oh my god, my PC's about to melt here. Look at you all here. Let's try and take off looking in the other direction. Alright, right, max RPM. I'm not going to be really following too many checklists. This is just a chill out with me stream now. Alright, parking brakes released. Let's see if I can take off looking backwards. There we are. Oh, you can see so many other people were parked where we were. So right is left and left is right. Actually, I would like to know if anyone else is in the anyone else in the sim. I would like to know what I actually look like. Do I appear as a Seminole, or do I appear as another aircraft? Because I guess if you don't have the Seminole modelled, I don't appear as one. Yeah, it's not a Seminole. I had a little bit of a temporary forgetfulness of what the aircraft was called. You can see aircraft everywhere here, so I'll slow my... I'm going to slow down a little bit, just to allow some people to catch up here. Jump into the cockpit, and we'll just head straight off northeast towards Mt Kilimanjaro. There it is. So this is the highest mountain in Africa, I'm right in thinking. 19,000 feet or something above sea level. We're only at 4,000 feet here, so we've got quite a way to climb. So I'm going to pitch the best rate. Look at that, we already have Sam Ramstein ahead of us. Yeah, I think all these turbopropped aircraft, I think the Carenado will definitely be able to get above us. But what I'll do, I'm going to do a little 360 here, allow some people to catch up. You're going to be thinking, what on earth am I doing? There we are. What's the stream latency? The chat seems to be very far behind at the moment. 7 seconds. Might want to refresh your browser, guys, because the chat's very slow. Anyway, I've got aircraft everywhere. Look at them all taking off here. Right, I'll do some more. Well, I said I'll do a 360, but I'll do some more S-turns, allows people to catch up. Sam Ramstein is certainly winning the close formation handling. He's excellent flying nearby here. Superb work. Aircraft flying absolutely everywhere. Amazing. Right, I probably best be climbing at my best rate of climb, which is 88 knots. Full power. Jawless nail. Showing us how it's done. So far, the climb performance is okay. Let's bring the RPM back a little bit. And we'll just need to lean that mixture as we get higher and higher and higher. So of course, we have someone in a business jet who has all the power he needs. Yeah, everyone's struggling to keep up here. Aircraft's performing really nicely. What? I'm doing a little bit excessive, 3,000 feet per minute. VX best angle, yes, that will give VX a little bit slow. It's about 80 knots, I think I saw there. That'll be the the shortest distance travelled. Best rate will be the quickest to the height. We're not trimmed out, we're completely trimmed out at the wrong speed here. Some aircraft are catching up. You know what, I'll do a loop. That'll be a sure soon way of getting people to catch up. It will be only so long before someone requests us to do a loop. There we are, heading straight towards the crowd, inverted. Let's allow them to catch up. There we are, now a bit more in the mix. Superb. Well, I managed to end up below or behind Sim 737 pilot. I am in disco straight ahead. Amazing. Right, let's get back to 88 knots and head on northeast. Superb. Fuel boost pumps on. Well, that's probably we should put that on before improving forming any sort of aerobatics. But I don't actually think that'll increase our power anyway. I might be wrong. But she's climbing quite nice at the moment. So we're almost at 9,000 feet. Again, let's bring that speed back to best rate 88. Got some people in, I think, some Cessnas and stuff, Diamonds. They'll soon catch up. They're pretty nifty, those aircraft. Very cool. Satay Collector, my favourite plane is definitely the 737. Outstanding. Incubus, I fly there too, but don't see any of you guys. Just a few others. What do I need to do to join you? Make sure you're in the is it Northern Europe server? Do you prefer GA to commercial or vice versa? Go ahead. Commercial flying, I suppose. But I'd love, again, I miss the ability to jump into a GA aircraft and fly around. Perhaps in the future. Not right now, but maybe when I get a little older. James Mons, I love these. Sadly can't take part, but it's still great to watch. I'm sorry you can't join us, buddy. No one's close to have. I am in Disco's quite close by. Got some people catching up. Here comes MLG Pro Henry. So far we're performing quite nicely. Anchor's climbing well. There is Kilimanjaro. Some people are well ahead of us as well. Tom Bowler, Captain, can you do some more multi-engine IR flights hopping UKG airfields like Gloucester, Exeter, Goodwood? I sure can. My instrument rating, I went from Oxford to Coventry. Coventry I did an ILS. I then went from Coventry to Gloucester and I flew an NDB and then went straight back to Oxford. I can just about remember that. But didn't land in Coventry or Gloucester. Just flew the applicable approaches. There's Domino Mosina, who's in the TBM. MLG Pro Henry, fantastic formation flying in the King Air. So we're 11,000 feet. These guys need to catch up. Oh, we've got someone. Who's this coming up quickly? Time Supernova. I'm sure there's many more people here because I remember reading it after the last one. Someone said there's 180 aircraft, but the server limits you about the aircraft that can display. But if you are around here, I hope you enjoy the flight. It's so cool. You need to put your gear up, non-stick skunk. He is putting his gear up. Look at that. So cool. It models all that. So I've got the weather set to live at the sorry, clear skies, so there's no winds. Everything's very, very smooth. That's quite a distance from the airport there. And what I plan to do, we'll keep going directly towards the summit, but as soon as the ground comes quite close, we're going to track around it. We're going to go all the way around the mountain and keep climbing until I basically cannot climb any more and then we'll try our best to try and land on top. I see Sim 737 pilot coming round. Well, that's a sight you wouldn't want to see in World War II. He's got plenty of energy. Oh, look at that! Very nice. Spitfire F100. Very nice. The fact you can actually hear them as well. Very good. Right, let's monitor our performance. Oh, I'm already in the cockpit. Oh, so there we are. So we're passing 12,000 feet here. Again, we can get a bit more out of this, I'm sure, if we maintain around 88 knots. TCAS would be going crazy, Russell, you're right. There we go. Oh, pilot, you had the nice East Midlands Oxford IR route. Yeah, I know. That wasn't... I don't know why or what reason I couldn't do it. The weather wasn't that great when I went either. It was quite windy. But it meant, I think, delaying it by another 3 weeks. And I remember the examiner saying, look, the weather is obviously not perfect. That is kind of taken into account. Obviously, they want you've got your limitations you've got to respect. But they were like, look, we know the weather's bad. We'll take that into account with the test and stuff, so don't worry about it. Because they were trying to encourage people to go. Yeah, I managed to get past first time. So. Right, now the power's really peaking off. So now I'm going to try and lean this. Ah, look! So that's really increased the power by leaning the mixture way back there. But look at the EGT needle, it's just rock bottom. But that's definitely helped. Look at that. Cool, blimey. It's like someone's strapped a couple of rockets here. Yeah, let's get back to 88 knots on the back of the drag curve, otherwise. See the moon rising ahead of us. So, God, I think after that, my goodness, after leaning that off, got loads more power. Dave Hagen, hello, just woke up from a 3-hour sleep. My, you must have been tired. Sleeping in the middle of a day. So I don't know how much ortho photography they have for the mountain. That's looking a little bit generic. I think here's all the scenery here, but maybe this part isn't photogenic. I don't know. It's looking, the texture's looking a little, I don't know, plain. I mean, I've got mine set to high end, but I don't think that. Remember when they had the Japanese scenery and they had Mount Fiji? That looked incredible. I don't think we're getting quite the same quality in this stream. But we're just about to pass the service ceiling, 15,000 feet. I've got a funny feeling this performance is a little bit excessive. I've got a funny feeling a PA44 won't climb like this up at 15,000 feet. There's the service ceiling, I think. We're still nicely holding 85 knots. I think I'll make 19,000 at this rate. I mean, the mixtures are pretty much... Yeah, it went up loads when I leaned that off. Tristan Bird, hello, just stopped in to say hello and see you fly. Welcome aboard. I think, is that Tristan Bird or Bird? Welcome aboard. Schmendrick213 coming in with the facts. Love this. Kilimanjaro is the highest freestanding mountain, the highest in the southern hemisphere. Climbing season is different to Everest, so when you climb, you are the highest standing man on Earth. Very, very cool. Yes. So any PA44 pilots, they can confirm that climbing at 1,000 feet per minute up here is good. I mean, I did, to give myself a little bit of a hand here, empty the aircraft except just myself, and I have just 25% fuel. So payload's pretty much non-existent, which will obviously help performance, but I feel this is a little bit beyond of what the aircraft could actually be doing. Is this pressurised? No. So in another issue would be that I need to have an oxygen mask on right now. Thankfully, hypoxia is not simulated. Puff? What's that? Puff Serif. My goodness me. Right. Oh, might not have to go all the way around the mountain. I might be able to get straight to the peak here. Non-stick skunks flying in formation beautifully. RFOS gate's not too far, but I'll land on the peak if I can, and we'll wait for a few people to arrive here. We'll have a picnic. Very good. Ben, you'd say it's a little excessive performance here. I feel like we shouldn't be doing 1,000 feet per minute, still up at 17,000 feet. It's not even turbocharged. Like, it's naturally aspirated. Oh, but it is beginning to, you know, come off a little bit here. There's Ted Striker 88, his caravan. He's turboprop, so he's got plenty of power to get up here. I'm going to keep off in this heading for a short while and just see how high we can get. We're only about 1,500 feet off from the peak now. That manifold pressure, yeah, is pretty at full power, only 15 inches. Magic engines, it would seem so. Yes, perhaps some more tweaking required. I mean, I wouldn't even know how to alter anything here, but she's climbing beautifully. It's almost 18,000 feet. Again, I don't know. Perhaps it's like this. Here comes Shinji. Bacon face. Need to get right to the summit here. Yeah, this needs some love from the team at Asobo, like they did with the Mount Fuji in Japan. I'm sure they could touch this up a little bit, but it does look a little bit generic. Nearly there. Look, 18,000. What's the exact height of the peak? Because we've got QNH set. Well, it's all standardised today here, but we'll carry on going here. No problem at all. Microsoft Flight Simulator need to improve the mesh and the LOD around mountains. Okay. Gwyn, you're doing the landing challenges on Microsoft Flight Simulator whilst watching you try to land on the mountain. Very good. Well, it looks like a lot of people are going in for their attempts now. We are... what's our altitude now? Yeah, we're going to easily... Oh, yeah, it's nearly levelled off. We just need a little bit more performance. We might be able to land, but actually moving or getting enough takeoff power to accelerate might be an issue. I'm going to carry on in this direction for a short while, but it looks like plenty of people are going in for a landing. You can see them all here. Might come in from the north. David Joseph, the issue with Microsoft Flight Simulator is it doesn't have the APIST is to simulate a performance curve. This is, for example, why PMDG have now said it'll be a year for their 7.3. Now that would explain a lot, David, and that's one of the beauties about X-Plane 11. As you climb the N1, certainly for the thrust, as it stays the same, as the air density decreases, nicely modelled, so that should be why we're still able to climb quite well here. We're going on quite nicely. Again, we're just about to pass 19,000 feet, but the performance has really knocked off here. I'm flying at around the best angle, which it's just kind of basically hit a wall. It was climbing around 500 feet per minute a minute ago. Now it's just gone poof. Let's just see if we can get up to 20,000 feet, and then I can at least make an approach. Do a 180. I'm a little bit too low to make an approach at the moment. Looks like Cali Duck struggling as well a little bit there. I will come back, guys. Just need a little bit more height. Is Microsoft Flight Simulator good or not? Is it real time like a flight cost you 11 hours? I mean, yes, David, if you wanted to fly a flight for 11 hours, it would replicate that as a real 11-hour flight, as would any of the sims. But if you want to be flying for 11 hours in a commercial airline, I'd probably use X-Plane 11 for the most accurately modelled aircraft for now. But there are some promising aircraft coming out for the sim. Right, let's slowly make our way back towards the mountain. Oh, we're really struggling now, look. I mean... oh, look! I can lead it further, get a bit more RPM. Oh, look, that's actually dropped off a little bit now. Oh, that's helped, though. That's given me a little bit more power. Meanwhile, then, no, that's not great. I swear it'd be running rough now, as it's pretty much almost idle cut-off. That's helped though, look, that's given me 1,000 feet per minute again. I can check in at 30,000 feet soon. Right, I'm going to make my approach. Yeah, I think that's right, Bjorn. It's really fun, but more a game than a sim at the moment. I'm more inclined to agree with you. Yes, don't fear, my X-Plane die-hard fans. This is, as you know, I do these kind of community flights well, it's about 3 months, I think, last time we did the crater flight. But we're always flying predominantly commercial jet aircraft. But I hope you found the first sector at least enjoyable. Well, look at that. I'm up at 20,000 feet. I'm going to drop the gear now. I'm going to try and land where everyone else is. Loads of performance. To keep the flaps up at the moment, because if I drop all the flaps, I might not have any more performance left. That mixture, I know. Yeah, you would be burning a hole in the pistons. I know the EGT would have skyrocketed. Is it knocking, isn't it? You get knocking from the... Yeah, that was very unrealistic. I mean, look at the manifold pressure. It's like 1,000 inches, but I'm still accelerating at 2,500 RPM. Yeah, that needs some tweaking. Right, here we go then. Let's do flaps. I'm not sure flaps are going to come in at 75, a bit slow. Not quite on the peak, but I was... just land where everyone else is. I might try and land on that higher peak later. Ooh, where'd that ridge come from? Right, let's go here. Oh, it's not entirely flat. Oh, I'm about to stall. That'll do. Oh, hello everyone. Oh dear, a lot of smash metal and I'm now drifting. But worth it for the lols. There we are. We made it on top of Mt Kilimanjaro. We've got Airbus A320s, we've got GA aircraft, we've got aircraft going supersonic speeds, we've got Dodd DeMiro here, Domino Messina, Sim 737 pilot, Carenado 84, Feb Beast. I'm almost at full power here. Well, we're not at the highest point. I think we should land where... I'm just going to have a look at where Tim Supernova is. I'm just going to leave it at full power here for a second. Oh, my Xbox controller's turned off again, so I'm not going to touch that. But I want to land on this bit. I'm at full power now, by the way. Oh, no! That's me at full power. That's not damage. Nothing to see here, no. Right, if I go idle, it's going to probably roll backwards. There we go. So, let it roll backwards a little bit. So at least pointing in the right direction. I'm going to do one more thing before we head back, guys. I'm going to try and land on this ridge. I'm just going to let it swing round. So at least we're pointing downhill for the takeoff. Right, well this could be interesting. Short field takeoff. Let's go. That'll be some knocking of the engine now. That mixture. Oh, she's barely accelerating. I might have to use the hill. Oh, there's a bit of a ridge here in the game. Oh, that might cause issues. Oh no, please don't glitch out there. Oh no! Nothing to see here. Fixed it, look. Well, perfect. No one spotted anything. Oh, my engine's died though in the process. Will Control E work, I wonder? Yes, nothing to see here. The takeoff worked fine right until that point I hit this little ridge. Thankfully I got crashed. It looks like someone else came to the same demise. Sam Ramstein as well. Right, now I've got to try and work out how to get out of here. Which way's downhill? It's very disorientating, this. Right, I think I'll carry on in this direction. We'll use the mountain to zip off. I'm going to follow Doug. Oh no, Doug's got it right, I think. Oh, a little bit uphill here. Oh, this looks better. This looks better. A little bit of a hill here to help us get airborne. Need a bit more speed though first. And we're going to do... Oh no, that's another one of those ridges, look. Hopefully this will do us. Oh, yeah, just about. Let's get the gear up. So we're going to land on this ridge next. That's going to be the highest point. Nothing to see here, carry on. Approach was not stabilised. appreciate the feedback, John. Well, this aircraft is performing in an exemplary fashion up here, and I don't think it should be. Right, let's try and land on the ridge, and then we'll head on back to Mt Kilimanjaro. And we're going to do that low level, hugging the mountain all the way back. Right, keep climbing. Yeah, this is a superb performance from a naturally aspirated engine up here. Right, oh, look nicely lined up again. So everyone else is attempting their landing in the ridge. Mo butter today, I guess, said Bowie 737, captured negative. My nose gear's just been ripped off the aircraft. Right, let's see how we do here. Oh, that should ease. Right, that should do us. Get the gear down. Everyone else is attempting their approach. Oh dear, what happened to Sam Ramstein? He's become a cropper. Right, let's put it down there. Bit fast. Oh, that'll do. Brake, 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 brake. I think... Oh no! Oh, what was that? Let's try and get right where Tim's Supernova is. I think that's the highest point on the mountain. There we are. Brake, 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 brake. Amazing. Let's set the parking brake. Actually, did someone look that up? What is the height of Mount Kilimanjaro at its peak? We could compare it to the altimeter. It is set to 1013, as is the game, so it should read the same. And there we are. We're right on top of Africa right now. Absolutely amazing. Where I'm parked is the highest point in Africa. Very cool. Here comes Desk Star 45. 4040, very good. Try and land on Snowdonia next. Welsh's claim. The Welsh's claim to fame. What's that in feet, Mike? 19,344 feet. I think that's pretty much it. Look, 19,290. I don't think there's anywhere else that's depicted here. I mean, to be fair to Microsoft Flight Simulator, the fact that they were that close, you know, with regards to how accurate it is, and this is an area they've not actually fine-tuned. I think someone might be slewing here. Feb B's very impressive. Right, well, let's head back to base. Here we are, so we need to make a left turn after departure. We're going to roll down the hill. I'm going to take a left turn here, fly direct, use the hill here. So let's get it pointing in the right direction. Release the parking brake. Take one notch of flaps, just before he goes on a ski run, look. Let's get it right on the tip of the hill here. Brakes are just about holding, and we're going to fly low level all the way back, guys, as low as we can. Right, here we are, full power. There we are, there's Shinji joining us. There we are, we're airborne, gears up. Down we go, I'm going to have to bring the power back already. Oh. Look at us go. Everyone leaving the mountain at the same time.
50, 40,
super cool.
30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much to whoever that is. Thanks, Tim Fraser. My dad is out of hospital and feeling 100% better. That's great to hear, Tim. Yes, we did see on Discord, and Marion mentioned as well your dad wasn't feeling too well, so I'm glad he's out of hospital. That's fantastic news, and I hope you and your family are doing well, and take care of yourself. Thank you very much. Very, very cool. Well, I can't reduce the power below that amount because I get the gear warning horn. I'm kind of doing some S-turns because if I follow the what was that? If I follow the train all the way down, we're going to go too fast. But I want to kind of go super low level. There we are. V&E is well up above 200 knots here, so we'll probably get up to 180 so long as we make smooth inputs on the controls. Some people catching up with us. Look at that. Nice little VFR map to help us out. Yes, this is somewhat looking a bit FSX-y with the graphics here. I'm sure they'll improve once we leave the mountain. Trees, we love the trees in the Blériot 11 especially. There we are, that's 10,000 feet. We've just lost 10,000 feet in that time. Oh dear. Someone is absolutely diving it down there. Is that an Airbus? I just saw a 747. Ah, there we go. Very cool. Lawn mowing. Yeah. Oh my God! Did you see that again? Who was that? It's very difficult when you're looking back to see what's directly ahead of you. Sam Ramstein flying very close in formation, very good. You wouldn't want an engine failure here, that's for sure. Many options available to you. Very cool. You should get a new job as a tree cutter. Whoa, looks spectacular. I saw a building down there. I think they've been randomly generated. Can't be too many people living around here. Goes Deep FG. Well, there, I think we actually clipped a tree there. Pruning most of Africa on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Oh, there you go. You looked at chat for a little bit too long there. There we are. Just a few more leaves to take out. Very nice. And there we were. Very good. Very happy that we went to visit Africa. I'm going to have a look on, keep an eye out for VATSIM events, especially whilst I have very much a lot of time available at the moment. See what VATSIM events crop up at other parts of the world here. There's a few on tomorrow as well. I'm thinking of doing a stream tomorrow evening, and then we're going to be doing another stream on Flight Data Sim Gaming soon as well, the second channel. Ting Tong Johnson, I hope your boss doesn't watch. You might get your license revoked. Thankfully, my senior management is well aware of the channel, and they know it's all a good bit of fun. And thankfully, they don't base my flying in a Microsoft Flight Simulator explain off my real ability, at least, which isn't that much better, to be fair. Barrel roll. I can do an aileron roll. I'm never any good at barrel rolls, but plenty of speed here, not so much the height. I'm going to try and fly in formation actually a little bit. With Domino Mocena, it's going to be a little bit too fast. I'm at full power here. I'm not obeying any rules now. I'm very much flying it GTA style. Coming too far from the airport. Look at that. There's Hurricane someone or other. I've lost Domino Mocena. There he is. try and do a aileron roll in this view. Here comes Skyper on, doing around 200 knots. Very cool. Now Kilimanjaro should be just around the corner here. Very close. We'll try and do a bit of a formation landing and we'll call it a day. Do you prefer Microsoft Flight Simulator? Explain 11, just for the commercial jet airliners at the moment. But this is good fun, and for GA it's good fun as well. But I see the quality of both sims, and I intend to use both of them for the foreseeable future. There we are. So this is now looking a little bit more photorealistic, as opposed to the scenery over the mountain. I drink surfed on this flight, negative. Drop into a little river here. Oh, what's the speed? Yes, the river that climbs up the scenery. I remember I did that near Innsbruck. Very cool. This is awesome. We're heading away from the airport now, though. I feel like I'm an F-16 now. Very nice. Cool. Right. Well, Kilimanjaro Airport's just around the corner. We'll head out of the little river valley here. Yeah, the airport set up a sobriety test for you. Yeah, they might be questioning the flying we've been doing today, that's for sure. We'll land on runway 27 then, the reciprocal of the runway we landed on earlier. We're on VATSIM. If I can actually spin it, not that you want to be spinning a T-tail. Alright, let's just hold the attitude first. Just gonna put a full bit of rudder in when we stall. Oh yes! Right, full opposite rudder, stick forward, and recover. It span actually, I was quite surprised. See, things like that Microsoft Flight Simulator have modelled, I think, quite accurately. Last time I did a spin was in a Cessna 150, and it's quite violent in a Cessna 150, believe it or not. Had to do it in the gliding for training purposes. Had to demonstrate recovery there. But it actually it went straight in. Have you done the Courchevel challenge? I did a stream of overlanding challenges. I know there's been a few more that have cropped in, but I haven't done any recently. The back loop, yes, that's something we could do in Wales. Very good. Yeah, the manifold pressure seems very low. I'd expect it to be a bit higher. Again, I'm just working on my, my vague recollection of flying the Seneca. A tad faster, do you think? Yes, a little bit when we're flying in the valley. Good. Well, we're going to come in for a formation landing now. Where are we again? Yeah, not too far. So a little zoom climb. Get up 5 knots when we level off. See where the runway is. Can't see it just yet. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Perfect. 40-40's there. Amazing. Is that aircraft vulnerable to a super stall? Not really. I think this, what you're referring to there is a kind of a deep stall where the aircraft's pretty flat. But T-tail aircraft are notoriously difficult to recover from in a spin because of the position of the horizontal elevator and the stabilizer. It's too high up. It's outside the airflow. Well, the airflow is blocked by the wing. Well, I don't know. The Seneca, was the Seneca prohibited? I don't know, but I know, isn't it the Tomahawk is prohibited from spinning? You can get yourself into a situation where you can't recover. Good. Perfect. Well, lining up with runway 27. Loads of other people here. I mean, I can hear a jet. I've only seen one jumbo. Very cool. Right. Well, we're below 140 knots, so I'll drop the gear. Get ourselves lined up. Hurricane 84 there, Elfie. Got Poop Steve ahead of us. There's Sim 737 pilot. See the 3 reds on those pappies. Let's get up below 111 knots, so I'll take first notch of flaps. Everyone lining up, can't see anyone's names anymore. I can't even see the runway, that is so many people. A few people behind as well. On profile, a bit fast here. Flaps 25. There's 85 knots. Oh my, well, I'll do my best to see through the nameplates to try and find the runway. I can't even see anything. I can just about see the pappies, 2 reds, 2 whites. Good. That's a good point. I mean, on this server here, I've got it live players on, but if I change the weather, surely that doesn't change the weather for everyone in the sim, only for myself. I'd be quite curious to see them. You should install the tiny nameplates mod. What is that? Well, I guess the name suggests it makes the nameplate smaller. I just saw that. I saw the type right in front of us. Ooh, 90 knots here. Arctic Wolf looking very nice on the centre line. Beautiful. What? Oh, I did a rubbish landing. I was too busy looking at Arctic Wolf's beauty. Oops, no butter. That's a bit better, a bit of a bounce. Not as good as the one when we're on line. There we are. There we are. Captain Panna's done a belly landing by the looks of it. Oh, bye everyone. I'm going to the terminal. Gonna get my Kenyan coffee. Mega butter, not really copper mine, but certainly the person ahead of me, if that's who you're referring to. Oh, still flying, look. 65 knots above the ground, look. Just gonna fly off the taxiway right on the stall. flaps. I'm going to fly to the apron. Must be on the stall warner now. Oh, look at that! Oh, there's the wing dropping. Not bad. Perfect. Let's go to the main terminal. End game's already here. And I'm going to park next to him. There we are. Well, wasn't that fun? Fucking brake is set. And we can see everyone pulling in behind us. Someone's got to go straight for the terminal. Brakes, case 90. My. Well then guys, that's it. That's the end of today's live stream. I thoroughly enjoyed myself there the last 45 minutes. Nice to just chill out and play, you know, throw the rules out of the window, just have a bit of fun. But we'll be back to more serious matters ASAP. Most likely tomorrow evening I'll stream back at Expert 11 in some commercial jet airliner of choice. But thank you very much to everyone that joined in today. Firstly, to everyone that donated, thanks for your contribution. And to all the members as well, thank you for the continued support. Don't forget to all the members as well, we'll be on Discord live in 40 minutes for the Assetto Corsa race. And to all the regular subscribers and viewers, thank you so much for popping in. Do myself a favour and smash the thumbs up button. We'll be sure to jump back into the PA44. It's not bad, I think overall it's okay. The instruments all work quite nicely. They need to fix the HSI deviation from GPS, but the ILS was a bit off, but I don't know if that was the sim or the aircraft itself. But the engines, yeah, the pitch works and the beach needs some fine tuning. But yeah, it's nice to jump back and do some GA flying. Well, IFR flying and doing these community group flights as well. So I'll keep an eye out for the VATSIM events and I might do some more flying in this aircraft in the near future. Guys, stay safe as ever, and I'll see you all for another live stream very soon. Bye-bye for now.